People, deluded. I'm back again. I might have just jumped the gun with that one there. I think I was ahead of the live. So let's go again. Take two. People, deluded. I'm back again. I hope you're all doing well and safe as usual. Good morning / good afternoon if you're over here in the UK. Good evening, good afternoon, good night. Good morning, depending on wherever you are internationally in terms of the time zone. I'm quite proud of the fact that I get a lot of love on my YouTube channel from the UK, but every day there's another country. I think I don't think there's a country there's a country in the continent of Europe not messing with me. I see Argentina and Peru and Chile the other day. It's crazy the amount of different and diverse people that we're all connected with via the internet. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please make sure you hit the like button. It's a bit of a slow news day, and as much as I love Arsenal Football Club, there's a lot more to discuss than Arsenal. So I thought, for the obvious, we spoke about it kind of yesterday about Smith-Rowe needing to sign a new deal. You've seen emerging reports. We're going to cover that. There's some stuff going on about Reece Nelson, nothing to worry about, but stuff going on about Reece Nelson. I mainly want to talk about other topics, people. Please make sure you hit the like button. I really appreciate you live from Planet X. You're always in the comments. You're always saying positive things. You're always keeping the motivation going. Like he said early doors, make sure you hit the like button, people. I'm always appreciative of you guys. I'd also like to obviously say sorry first and foremost, because I know I didn't give you much time in relation to this live stream. It was very much off the cuff and random and things like that. So it is what it is. I see there's 10 of you watching so far in the first minute, and we've got 13 likes. So we're off to a great start. But for me personally, people, let's smash out the Arsenal stuff quickly, because I don't really want to harp on about Arsenal when there's nothing really. I know if you don't know, we will be playing against Southampton on Saturday. We'll be playing them on Saturday as well as Tuesday. Obviously, they just beat Shrewsbury Town. I say just beat. Last night they beat Shrewsbury Town to advance in the FA Cup. So it's nice for me that we're gonna kind of have an early stream. It's 12:15 and things like that. So it's nice that it'll be early. Can't complain. Lovely to see a couple more of you locking in. Phil Michael has said, big up DG, watching from LA, and it's 4 a.m. I appreciate you for your commitment. I appreciate you for tuning in, but get some sleep, my guy. 4 a.m. That's stupid o'clock round them sides there. I hope you're doing well and safe. Toby has said, always great to catch an unexpected stream. Fair play, do what you want. Emma said, new hat. No, well, send me a new hat. I've got quite a few of these sort of hats. I just don't wear them, but my hair is getting a madness now, people. Any barbers in London that's still open, come, man, please. I need to cut my hair. It's getting ridiculous now. I'm begging for a skin fade, man. I'm begging for a skin fade. I'm tired of looking like how I'm looking in the vids, but I can't. There's nothing I can do. I might get one of the man them to try cut my hair, but that's going to end poorly. You can't play with the hairline. You can try a skin fade at the back of my head, because I can do things like this. Greg has said, DG the GOAT. I appreciate you. One day I hope I can live up to such expectation. Phil has said, just got up, bro, getting ready to go to work. I appreciate you, man. Go and earn your living, go and pay your bills, go and feed your family. I respect you, my guy. 4 a.m. What kind of job are you doing? That's a madness still, but big up yourself, Claudius. You're there, no Jamaican slander today, please. My Trini tug, please relax. Stop playing. Rich Header said, what's your thoughts on Odegaard? Well, there's rumors. I mean, just based on Twitter, just based on Twitter, there's rumors that Odegaard, Zidane's not messing with him like that. He said he would like to go on loan. He said he would like to leave permanently. I don't know the truth, because I'm not a Madrid fan. I'm not in tune with everything. From what I used to see initially, something's gone on, because I'm sure Odegaard was, I won't say regular football, but I'm sure he was getting a look in at Real Madrid under Zidane finally off the back of a good season at Sociedad. Real Madrid's performances have been mixed. Maybe Odegaard's performances have been mixed, and that's resulted in him being dropped out the team. Apparently, he wants to keep it moving. He wants to leave on loan. And obviously, cue the Arsenal rumours. We need creativity. He fits that void, obviously. Again, there's rumors you could get him on loan. Again, there's a lot of confusion around the loan situation, people, because to my understanding, again, I just know about football. I don't know about rules and all of these sort of things, but I'm more or less sure that we've got Ceballos on loan. So how can you get Odegaard? Can you get two people on loan? Now, because it's from a Spanish team, it might not have any relevance, but I think there's an issue with that. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe some fans would entertain sending back Ceballos and bringing in Odegaard. I don't mind that personally. I get it. If you was to bring in Odegaard in January alone, It's the best we can kind of do within what we know about Arsenal and the finances we're working with. But I kind of want to get a permanent player, man. Even if it's a lesser player, someone that's going to be here long term. I get it, you know. I'm all for utilizing the loan market, definitely the way we are as a club. If we can get a couple talented players from the big boys and they can help us, fair play. But I just don't want to sit here developing players for other people, really and truly, you know. And there's something to be said. A lot is said about the sort of players we buy for big money, the Pepes, the Lacazettes, the Xhakas, the Mustafis, etc. We also know a part of the problem is the free transfers and the loans market. The loan market hasn't really worked out. You've got Ceballos twice on loan. He's shown patches of brilliance, but is he certified, sort of thing? Do you get it, people? So maybe it's something that we'd leave alone. Personally, I would be open for Odegaard because we can't do much. You know, he's a baller, but I don't really want man to. Of course, if he comes here, he helps us in terms of our short-term goals, fine. But I don't really want to bring in man to develop them for other clubs because we need to be developing our own players, people. It is what it is. In that regard, M is saying Odegaard would be a better option and let Ceballos go to Madrid. But fair play. I'm not going to begrudge that, you know. So again, I just think it's rumours and them using that to their advantage. I don't think there's any other truth in that. Again, I could be wrong. I'd be open to Odegaard, as I just said, people. But it is what it is in that regards. It really is what it is. Moving away from that, Claudius has said DG Stream helps me through the Excel spreadsheets. At least I can be a service to some guys, man. I can't lie. Sometimes it feels like there's no point making content. It's not respected. It's not received. It's whatever. But you lot just keep reminding me, you know, why you should be here, you know, because it really warms my heart that, you know, you got live from Planet X, you got Toby, you got yourself, Claudius. You lot just excited to see a DG stream like it's giving some value to your day. And, you know, that warms my heart really and truly. Arsenal Queen has said, big up DG, not been here for a while. Where you been, man? I ain't seen your username, but fair play. Nice to see you've returned. It is what it is. You know, the world does keep moving. Big up yourself, Faddy, as well as yourself, T. I appreciate you guys. Big up yourself, G, as well. What it do, DG? Appreciate the work rate as always. And I appreciate you guys' work rates for returning again and again and again and again. Man said DG, best part of the working day. I appreciate you guys. You know, there actually wasn't going to be a live stream today, people, because I was actually going to go and get an intro sorted, people. I tell you, always tell me, you know, you need to get the thumbnails, you need a theme tune, you need, you know, an intro, you need this, you need that. And I said, I'm working on it. It was going to get done, you know, someone that actually is a follower of my content and is a very talented video guy, whatever you would call it, was going to go and get that one done, people. But if you're over here in the UK and you saw the rain in it, and obviously shooting outside, the rain, it's going to look dead. I would love to have a haircut as well because, you know, I don't want to look greasy in my intros, but it is what it is, people. So it is what it is. 9EG says, first live I've caught in a minute. I appreciate you, my guy. I know a lot of you are getting shagged, whether it's because of work commitments, whether it's because of the YouTube notifications. They're just doing you lot dirty, but lovely to see you here, man. And you can, everybody, you know, I know it's not the same watching a live stream back when it's not live, but you can always return the thing, man. It can always return the thing. Crips has said, safe DG, keep it real with your nice streams. Straight facts. Come on, you gooners. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you as well, my guy. See, I'm seeing a lot of you saying it's the first live stream you've caught. I appreciate you lot, man. I appreciate you lot. So yeah, man. What have you said? North London original. You said big up DG. I think the restrictions from Premier League clubs is that they are allowed 4 loan signings overall, but only 2 from other clubs. So again, it's not related to the Ceballos and the Odegaards and, you know, previously Isco and all of these sort of guys, people. So again, I'll be all open for Odegaard, you know, I'd be open for it. But for me, it's never no signing is guaranteed, but I would like to see us hit the ground running in terms of if we bring someone in January. You know, you look at Bruno Fernandes, we're not going to get that. And, you know, he's getting a lot of criticism based on how he played against Liverpool, but we all know he scored goals and assists, so we can praise him for that. I think man have to praise him for how he adapted very quickly in January. Aubameyang as well, to be fair, in an Arsenal perspective. So I'd be open for Odegaard. I'd be open for the Iscos. I'd be open for all of these guys on loan. I would just rather the club bring in someone that's going to tie in with the Smith-Rowes, with the Tierney's, with the Saliba long term, you know, Gabriel as well. These players that are in their early to mid-20s that are going to be here for a significant period of time, and that they can make us stronger for the present. You know, Partey's what, 27, 28. I describe him as being here for the present. Saying that, he's going to be, he has about 5 years in him, but him, Aubameyang, you know, to a degree, there isn't really any, you know, these are the players I describe as the present, and then we've got the future, so we need to help ourselves. You know, I would like to see Odegaard signed on a permanent basis, but how much cash are they going to want? How much cash are they going to want? It's money talks in this day and age. You know, if Norwich are saying 40, 50 million for Buendia, with all due respect to Buendia, because I think he's messed, and I'm not saying one is better or worse than the other, but you can see what's going to happen, people. What have you said, Mr. Adlib23? Big up all the YouTube members as well. You said, who would you prefer, Peag on loan, Ricky Peag on loan of Barcelona, or Isco? I guess based on, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, but based on what I've said, of course, it probably leans towards Isco. But I would take a chance on Ricky Peag. You know, I know he probably loves Barcelona a bit too much, and it might be to his benefit, it might be to his detriment, but it is what it is, man. Arsenal Queen has also said, do you think we're actually going to sign anyone in this window? 20th of Jan and no moves. I have small hope, you know. We're approaching the last 2 weeks of the window. I have small hope that business can be done, because that's why I expected. You know, we heard we need to move players off before we can bring certain players in. Again, Sokratis, 1 minute he's going Genoa, then he's going back to Greece, then he's going here, then he's going there. But he looks someone that will leave, and maybe even the club will take a leaf out of the Ozil book and say, do you know what, Sokratis, you're peeing about. We want you gone. Can we, you know, pattern a mutual agreement to terminate your contract? Because those sort of things are happening quite a lot. You know, Diego Costa's done it. Crystal Palace's is it Meyer, the German lad? He's done it. You know, free transfers and termination of contracts, obviously with Ozil as well, is something that is becoming the norm, people. Something that's becoming something. So, you know, if we could get rid of the Sokratis to go with Ozil, he's more or less a Fenerbahce player. Kolasinac has gone out on loan. Then maybe that gives us a bit more room to maneuver financially with bringing in a creative man, and also we can dedicate more time towards finding that sort of thing. You know, for me, I would like to see an 8.5, a number 8 at a push, a 10 come in, and a backup goalie. You know, again, hopefully nothing happens with Leno, but it's not going to be a Martinez thing. I'm sure we all hope Runarsson turns into a mad keeper, but we can sometimes, you know, sometimes players need a bit longer to show you their levels and things like that. Some players you can just see are not up to task, and I'm not going to critique Runarsson. He did it by himself. I have to question mark what led to him coming to this club. You can just see he's not a good keeper, and again, touch wood, cross toes, do all sorts of superstitions, people, that Leno doesn't get injured, because we're in trouble. And again, it's about being proactive, because I saw that we wanted the Raya guy at Brentford. Brentford said, no, you're not taking him. It looked like it was very easy to take this Runarsson guy. So it's almost like, the players that we're buying, do we actually want these players, or are they just alternatives because they're easy to get? Like, you know, Pepe, I'm not going to critique Pepe, because United, Bayern Munich, everybody was in for him, and maybe in hindsight they all dodged the bullet, but they were all in for him. Our first choice was clearly Zaha. You know, the backup option, it's not a thing with being a backup option, was Pepe. But my problem is why? You know, Leo are a selling club. They're happy to do business. They're happy to source players, have them for a couple of years and sell them. Crystal Palace, if they could, they'll keep, to this day, they've still got Zaha. They would keep Zaha until the man retires. So it's, again, you have to make players available. Very rarely are players actually just available for transfer. Obviously, if they dig their heels in, throw their toys out, their prams at their clubs, that's different. But half the players that we're linked with, or half the players that can make your team better, they're not available like that. You know, why would Norwich want to sell Buendia right now unless they want to make money? Why would Lyon want to sell Arawa? You know, why would Brentford, based on what we hear, want to sell Raya, and Crystal Palace with Zaha? You have to make man available, and sadly, money talks. There's nothing else around that. Money talks. You want someone, go and get it done. Everyone has a price. You know, Dan, I appreciate you. You said still no solid talk of a goalkeeper, which is concerning. Facts. That echoes what I've just said. You know, Ozil is history. We can finally move on. There's no need to talk about Ozil. The only reason I just mentioned him is in terms of outgoings. Credit to Mesut Ozil. I loved you playing for the football club, but you're gone. It is what it is. You know, Dermot, shout out to yourself. Shout out to you, man. You're just coming here to say people. I appreciate your input nonetheless, my guy. Em is saying, morning nation, you know the settings, hit the like button. And like you said, hit the like button, people. It doesn't cost a thing. Oh, that green tea and honey is slapping, people. It's slapping. I want us to get a right back as well. I wouldn't say it's first priority, definitely in January, people, because, you know, we've got cover there, sort of thing. Arsenal are 10th. Yes, Arsenal are 10th. Shout out to you, my guy. You can, out of all the things you could be using for the internet, you're using it to troll. You know, your mum should slap you. You know, you could be using it to get rich and them thing there, but you're doing what you need to do. Treeks is saying, you know, and you know, Treeks, before I continue, just because I've seen the name, do you know how weird life is? Because you lot can't see it. I actually done some notes on Wan Matuka. You know, I was first put onto him at Paris FC, and now he's gone to Stuttgart. I wish I could turn the camera, but I've actually paused it. I'm actually watching the weekend Stuttgart versus Gladbach game. Gladbach, 73 minutes. I've paused it on. Gladbach are winning 2-1. And Wan Matuka Silas is the guy I'm actually watching. So it's weird in a good way how you've asked me that question, my guy. For me, he's someone I'm looking at. I was first put onto him when he was at Paris FC. He was linked with Barcelona and things. I think he's got a bit better because he's been exposed to higher level football, but I still think he's very raw. Like I like him a lot. He can play up front, he can play on the wings. You know, he's a bit raw. His decision making is a bit hot and cold. You know, the first touch isn't always there. He's very raw, but you would expect that. But I think he's got it all, man. He's showing he's got an eye for goal. I think he's a player, man. He's someone I'm looking at, you know, long term, and he's someone I'm gonna try buying Football Manager, funny enough. So I think he is someone that needs monitoring. Is he ready for the move yet? If he moved and he done his thing, then probably. But he's someone I'm looking at that I like the look of. He's been there for a while as well. What's his name? That's at Guendouzi's club. Is it Cunha? I know he's been at Leipzig and all of those things. I like the look of him, people. I really appreciate him, yeah. So big up yourself, Treeks, man. It's weird how you've said that. It's really weird in a good way. SS said, DG, never know anyone who watches the amount of football you do. Big up. I try, man, and I still don't think I watch enough. I still don't think I utilize my time enough. So we keep going, we keep pushing. But I appreciate that. I just love football, my guy. Unnecessarily high amount of love for football, really. What else are you lot saying? Please, there's 180 of you. Make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. So yeah, so far we've talked about Odegaard. We spoke quite about a couple things still. So yeah, man, this is why I love the live stream, because I always think I'm not gonna be here long because I just think I have little things to talk about. But you'll always come with some other stuff. I appreciate your dedication as well, Havana. Like Dia said, please hit the like button. If you really appreciate the thing, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. Reese Harvey said, been watching for a couple of weeks now, but first time commenting. Don't be shy, my guy, man. Comment your thing, man. Why are you waiting weeks to comment, man? He said, so what made you support Arsenal? A mixture of things, you know. Obviously, a tiny bit of family influences. For me, you know, Thierry Henry, I'm born in 95. So, you know, shout out to Ian Wright. But Thierry Henry was the first, like, play him and Vieira. And I know people are going to get onto me, but Ashley Cole and all the others, I fell in love with these lot, innit? And obviously, you know, I remember back in the days, you was called a glory hunter for being Arsenal, and I'm a North London lad, so it's a bunch of reasons, but I'm happy I'm here. Maybe I shouldn't be happy, but I'm happy I'm here. It could have been worse, man. I've got a family of some Arsenal, some actually United and Spurs, you know. Sadly, there's some Chelsea. It could have been different. You know, my dad isn't an Arsenal fan, if that makes things interesting for you guys as well. Is where it is. Thierry Henry was in the same way for me. All primary school was 50 Cent, Arsenal, and the Brazilian national team. They were Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry, and 50 Cent in particular were everything to me. So Henry, I wouldn't fanboy a lot of people, you know. I don't believe in idols, so Henry's definitely not an idol for me. Like, he's someone I love as a footballer, but I wouldn't say idol. Like, you know, my only idol is the man above, you know, the creator of everything. But there's not too many people I'd fanboy. But if I saw Thierry Henry or Ronaldinho, no shame, people. I'm screaming like a little girl at a concert. I am going off. You know, I am just staring into Donny's eyes. I ain't got nothing to say. You know, I don't normally even get starstruck, but that's there. You know, 50 Cent, Ronaldinho, and Henry, and Big Patrick Vieira be individuals I would Wenger as well. I actually the only time I've actually been starstruck, and I've met the guy from Snowfall. I lost his email. That could have been a W for man, Damon. The only time I've been starstruck is actually when speaking to Zola. I was speaking to Zola like how we are now. Well, the laptop is here, so face to face. We're talking about football, and you know, Zola's got that Arsene Wenger stuff about him. It's like everything he says is just a madness. He's got the aura. Obviously, it's Zola. I know I'm an Arsenal man and he's a Chelsea and whatnot, but I'm just sitting there and he's talking, and he bless up to Zola for giving me all this time when we're speaking, but I'm just there, and in my head I'm like, rah, like, nah, this is Zola, you know. Like, this is Zola. Like, this is like at a time he's saying stuff, but in a good way, it's getting blanked out. I'm just looking at him like, nah, this is Zola, you know. Like, I'm sitting here and speaking to Zola. This is a madness. That sort of thing is crazy, man. Pardon me. You love saying people. It is what it is, man. You know, people. I get paid for it. So it is what it is. You know, you said I can imagine, bro. Man used to get called glory hunter for being Arsenal. Such as times have changed, man. Zola was an absolute baller, and he is a real G for true, man. It really is. You know, Ian, right. You're right, man. You know, I was coming into it, you know, I kind of missed the Ian Wright boat, if that makes sense. In his prime and all of those sort of things, man. Bro, Henry made you stop playing in goal. Bro, you should have stopped playing in goal anyways. Bad man don't jump in goal. What's all of this? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Hey man, I can't help the way I look, man. The galley love the baby face killer. Hide your mother, hide your sister, man. It's crazy out here. It's crazy. You don't want to lack. You know, they be saying they be feeling bids and all them things there, but they be catting for the kid, man. It ain't my fault, man. Fountains of youth, Ting, babyface, assassin, and all of those sort of things. We got more 95 gang as well. You know, big up yourselves. You're all locked in. Daniel has said Arsenal are on the verge of buying Barcelona keeper. I assume you're talking about Neto. And again, until I see some confirmation, I don't really know for that one there. So we'll see what happens in that regard. What have you said? Who's your favorite player and young player in the Bundesliga? Favorite player? Difficult one. You know, there's Jadon Sancho, there's Gnabry, you know, there's Bearman, really and truly. Lewandowski. Alaba, the bear man at Bayern Munich in particular. I wouldn't say favorite, but I like Witsel. I like the way he plays. I'm a big fan of Gio Reyna at Dortmund. Guendouzi's there, so he's gonna get loved. But I would say young player in Bundesliga. I would say Jamal Musiala or Wirtz. I can't say his name at Leverkusen. Player in general between Alaba and Gnabry. You know, Guendouzi by default, sort of thing. If that makes sense. Good question nonetheless, though. Good question nonetheless. Hey man, Bellingham used to be my guy. He unfollowed me on socials, boy. So he's not my Donny no more, but he is a good player. Oh, hey, Haaland as well. How can I forget? You gotta slap him in there as well. You know, that man's a beast. You know, Shy Guy said, DG, your fan base is growing. Even my mum's a fan. Big up your mum. Big up Mumsy. Big up Mumsy. It's nice to see everybody flying the banner, man. Big up your mum. Give your mum a spud for me, please. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that, man. How come I'm one of the only people on Twitch? Because the Twitch gang are not active right now. If you're on Twitch or you want to watch versus Twitch on Twitch, Deluded Gooner 187, they're not rating my thing, but Football Manager content loading on that. So hopefully we can get the sort of active wheels motion in that. What have you said? Would you take? Oh, sorry, and Ndidi's going to United. Fair play if they're gonna get Ndidi. Fair play is a good signing. I said Bellingham, not Balogun, and yeah, so whatever in that regards. Would you take Basuma? Why is your message not coming up? Alvin has said, would you take Basuma? Of course. Emma said, Buendia, our brand, Odegaard, Basuma, Lampard. Who would you like to buy? That's bare, man, and I'd like to buy all of them. But I would say out of push, I would like Lamptey. Keep calling him Lamptey. Basuma's a number 6. I think we need a number 6. And I'm a big fan of Buendia, equally our but I must admit it's the French sort of Arsene. You know, I'm an Arsenal fan. Arsene Wenger at a period was all I know. That French connection, that romance, I can't shake it out of my head. So I would say Aouar, Basuma, because they're the two sort of midfielders. They're two different ones that could complement the squad and each other. Lamptey, we need a right back. You know, he's got a lot of question marks, but he needs to do what he needs to do. And Buendia would give us a lot of options. Like I said, long term, I think he could play in that sort of Santi Cazorla role. He can obviously play as a 10 or an attacking midfielder, and he can play off that right-hand side. So that gives you more versatility and all of those sort of things, people. I appreciate you, Daniel. Really appreciate that. A people for the Twitch gang. People, you lot deserve that, man, especially because there's not much of you. In fact, yeah, the Twitch gang is that. This is why I Life on Planet X is my guy. The minute he heard it was moving Buki over there, he got round there and done up the Twitch. You know, normally C's in the building as well, and she's one that's a big advocate of the Twitch gang. She's always trying to plug it. So I know there's not many of you on Twitch, but I appreciate all of you lot. I must admit, I'm not really convinced on Matty Cash, to be fair. Daniel, apologies, meant to be your comment. I think he's all right, but it's not a thing where if we don't buy him, I'm going to cry sort of thing. If he comes, you get my support, but it's like, it is what it is. Cherky's a baller. He's firmly going to be a top player. He just needs to he just needs to develop a bit. Greg has said you need a people Twitch emoji. I'd spam it in the comments. Soon land, my guy. Soon land, my guy, man. What? Thought you was a goon. Why are you calling yourself Ollie? I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but shout out to you nonetheless. Link the Twitch. I would watch Deluded Gooner 187. I can't link it right now, my guy. My hands are kind of tied. Someone please drop my comment, my Twitch link in the comments, please. So yeah, watching you on the PlayStation today. Good morning, guys. That makes a difference. Still, that makes a difference. Who is your favorite dribbler right now? Neymar, without a doubt. Neymar right now. Neymar. In general, Lionel Messi / Ronaldinho. You know, Messi. Do I need to get into specifics about Messi and Ronaldinho? Listen, for me, even R9. You know, people forget the pace and power he used to run at man with. So, yeah, man, I'd say the Brazilians mainly out of 10, really and truly. So yeah, big up yourself, iPlugger as well. But yeah, man, let's crack on a tiny bit. We've been here half an hour. Let me actually swap the screen and talk about the first matter at hand. You know, we're going to get into Smith-Rowe, the report talking about Smith-Rowe. Big up James, you know, shout out to James for coming through onto my channel as well. I really respect him, you know, journalist James Baines. Give him a follow, he knows his stuff. Before we carry on, you know, Live from Planet X has done me a favor. That's the link in the chat for you guys to do up the Twitch stuff. So hit up the Twitch, it's there for you lot. So yeah, before we crack on, Morgs has got a good question. You said, DG, I know you said we need an 8.5 in the match review the other day, and of course we are in the January window, but ideally, who would you want Arsenal to bring in to be that 8.5? Good question, and it's going to change. Me, I want Neuhaus, man. I want Neuhaus of Gladbach. I think he could be that. But again, he probably gives the ball away a bit silly. So there's a lot of development to do. The typical names we've been linked with, but I'll give you a random name there. I'd say Neuhaus. I want a 6 and an 8.5 personally. I think we need 2. So yeah, man. Smash up the like button, people. Please smash up the like button. So yeah. Cracking on with James. Now, Smith-Rowe, we'll talk about Smith-Rowe in a bit. But as you can see, you know, there was a lot of talk around loaning out Reiss Nelson. Reiss Nelson needs to go and play football. And that's true. Arteta indirectly said, but for whatever reason, Reiss Nelson didn't go on loan. For me, it's a mixture of things. I think sometimes of recent, he hasn't grabbed the opportunities he's been given. And I have to cut him the luxury. He hasn't really played since against Rapid Vienna in December. So, of course, on one hand, when you're given an opportunity, whether it's 10 games or 1 game, you've got to show something. And I think he hasn't grabbed it, especially when he was named in the starting lineup in whatever game was it that Martinelli had to drop out because he got injured. I can't even remember who it was. I don't think he's grabbed his opportunity. That being said, I think, you know, like Pepe's the same, but I feel with the Reeses and these sort of man, you know, William was playing too much and he never got to take advantage of that. And I do think Reiss would benefit from playing consistently. I still think, and obviously injuries are a big part, you know, because when Reiss looked like he was finally coming into his own, and ironically, when Smith-Rowe and these sort of guys started popping up, that would have been the perfect time for Reiss Nelson. I still believe in Reiss Nelson. I still think he could be a player. Obviously, I'm talking with the Hale and chest right now. You know, people said Smith-Rowe weren't good enough. Now look at him. You know, everybody's singing his praises. And when he has the occasional barren spell and bad patch, people are going to draw him out, people. Reiss Nelson, he needs confidence, and he does. There's a lot of things he needs to answer for. His decision-making needs to be better, and that's what he needs to improve. He needs to take his chances, and that's down to him. He needs to show better consistency, sort of thing. It's down to him, sort of thing. Do you get it? So, but at the same time, there is benefits for him to go out on loan, play consistently, you know, because to a degree, to be fair, you know, what is one thing playing well 1 week, but are you going to get the opportunity to do it the next week, or are you going to be completely out the side? And I do feel there is times when it doesn't matter if the Reiss Nelsons is, if the Maitland-Niles is, and all of these guys, Martinelli to a degree, it doesn't matter if they play good or not. I don't think sometimes they're not getting a consistent look in, with exception of obviously Smith-Rowe, and because he's doing his thing and whatnot. But as you can see, James has said here, Arsenal have indicated they do not plan to loan out Reiss Nelson this month, despite the youngster playing less than an hour's football since the start of December. Niggling injuries have limited opportunities for the 21-year-old so far this season. And at 21, he needs to develop more. But, you know, could you say there's even progression in that way? Because they wanted to loan him out. Now they're saying no. Is that because of Williams' form? Is that because of injuries? Is that because you don't want to chop and change mid-season? I don't know. Hertha Berlin tried to get him, as you can see. James went on to say Hertha Berlin approached Arsenal about a loan deal before the start of the summer, so he could have joined Guendouzi there. And Bayern Leverkusen have previously expressed an interest in obviously grabbing him on loan. And he's gone on to say finally it would ideally take him pushing for another loan for it to become a reality this month. So if he wants to do his thing, if he wants to play first team football, he has to push the boat. I believe in Reiss Nelson. I'd love to know your opinions. Football is diverse. Reiss is saying Reiss ain't the one. I'm sorry, but he needs to loan him out or sell him. That's fair play. Jay has said Reiss needs to stay fit or play through the niggling injuries, and I think playing through an injury is easier said than done. Half the time these players that we criticize, we don't know if they're carrying knocks or not, and it comes out after. Playing with painkillers and injections is a regular thing, and I don't necessarily think that's the smartest thing. I don't really rate footballers who the minute they feel a bit of pain they're not playing, but we have to protect people. Monster has said, yo, DG, take Lampard out your title. This is supposed to be an Arsenal show. There's no rules on YouTube. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm a football fan. I could talk about whatever I want. Unless you're paying me, I will not be taking out a damn thing. So it is what it is in that regard. I think Tony's a good player and there'll be Premier League moves, but at this moment in time, I'd take a pass on Ivan Toney of Brentford personally. It is what it is in that regards, people. Moving away from that, so yeah, Reiss Nelson, hopefully you find some form and the rest of it, people. Moving away from that, and yesterday I spoke and you spoke about how the fact of, we need to get Smith-Rowe a new deal. Matter of the fact is he's advanced himself in the footballing world. He's advanced himself at Arsenal. He's got 2 years left. We need to not avoid that repeat of we got away with it with Saka, but running down the Saka deal when he was emerging and whatnot. And we're lucky that Saka's advisors and whoever around him wanted him to stay. You reckon, M? I don't think so, personally. I don't think he's like that, but fair play. So, yeah, in relation to this, Arsenal will offer Emil Smith-Rowe a new long-term contract after his sparkling form helped to lift the Gunners into the top half, gassing it up a bit. We're 10th. We've gone from like 11th or 15th to 10th, gassing it up a bit. But shout out to the 20-year-old, man. He's ready now. He's 20 years of age. He's not the finished article, but he's ready to compete. And now he's been given an opportunity. Don't lose your shirt. He's grabbed this shirt and he's not losing it now. It's yours to lose, and that should be it for everybody, sort of thing. So as you can see, it's gone on to speak about him. We don't really care about what Arteta has said in that screenshot there. We already know I thought he earned more than 15k a week. Hey Smith, if you're listening, come invest in Deluded, bro. Man is taking home 60k a month, and if he gets the Saka thing, madness. I love to see these young London kids eating and making money, man, doing nice things for their family, doing nice things for them, and this can set them up for life, man. Hope they're all investing their money into smart things, people, and it's well deserved. Contracts are earned, people. Contracts are earned. So yeah, he deserves a new deal. That's all it's got to say. So yeah, hopefully that one there's got. We probably won't be a quick turnaround, but he deserves that, people. So yeah, you've seen that. That's gonna stay there for a sec. We're gonna get into the neutral things. What are you guys saying? Heard Tyrese John Jules is injured again. Is this true, DG? I think he's picked up a hamstring knock in his last game. So we'll have to see what happens in that regard. Robbie has said, can answer any of my questions. What is wrong with you? I'm not going to answer any questions because you're being rude. Be like everyone else. Wait your turn. Wait your turn. You don't pay me to answer your questions. This is a free service, and you are not the only one out of 288 people, 31,000 subscribers that is going to ask a question. And I'm also reading stuff. I do not. This is one of the things that annoys me, people. Not many things annoy me, but when people act like I owe them something, you haven't paid me for nothing. I'm here dedicating my own time, and you're dedicating your own time. So sharp and listen and wait. The world doesn't revolve around you. And it's a free service. So moderators, please block my man if he hasn't been blocked already. You've lost the right to speak. You're talking nonsense. Big up everyone else who is asking questions in a decent manner. Man has said, I never thought we'd be within 7 points of Liverpool this season. It's funny how things work out, innit? And again, realistically, we know Liverpool are going to blow us out of the water. But this is what I mean by, it's not that, don't get it twisted. I don't think Arsenal are a good team like that. We all know we've got a bit of form. We've got some good individuals. Would you say we've got a quality 11 or a quality 25-man squad? Probably not. But I don't think it's, I have no problem people saying this team, that team, this team's better than us. All the teams above us. But are we behind them because they're clear of each other? They've got world-class, top-class, consistent players across everything. They're taking all points. Or are we in this position because of ourselves? You know, it's a madness of a season. You know, it's everybody's moving terrible. No one's really got consistent form right now. If you was to say, I would say what? To a degree, West Ham, to a degree, Leicester, and obviously Manchester City are the ones finding form, but they've all gone through rough patches. We're in this situation now and not able to take advantage of this mad season because of ourselves. And even that, we're still somewhat couple points off. You know, the only reason we won't have a season to remember getting back into the Champions League or doing anything, which I don't think we can, is due to Arsenal, because we've been messing up dumb games. I don't want to keep saying the best ifs and buts and if we did this and that and all of these things. But if you've done something against Wolves, against Leicester, turned up against Villa, got 3 points against Crystal Palace, you know, the table looks different. You will drop points in the season, but when we come back into May and we look at our fixtures and results and we see our points dropped there, and we add it all up, this is where we're at. You know, our biggest enemies will be ourselves. And so far, that's the case. We're playing catch up. And really, you know, we're happy. We've got 5 games or so on the spin. If we're real with ourselves, a team that wants to get top 4 or allegedly wants to, you should be able to beat Newcastle based on their form. Take nothing away from it, but you should be able to beat them. You should be able to beat Brighton. You should be able to play West Brom. You played all 3 of those teams at the same time, at the right time, sorry. You know, respect the Chelsea result is certified. We did what we needed to do. People thought we was going to get a drum in there. We did what we needed to do in that regards. Jay has said, DG, is the hype around Buendia justified? I think so, but we know with every player that's linked with Arsenal, you know, people look at Buendia like he's you know, that he's better than Zidane. The same for Aouar. They start making out these players are the solution to every single issue when that's not the case. He's a good player. People get excited and whatnot. 33 has said, love watching your show, D. Looks like the summer is more realistic for us. We should probably use Pepe in the 10 as he did in France. You could do that. Personally, I'd rather persist with Smith-Rowe or put Lacazette there, you know, but it could get a reaction out of Pepe. Why not? Why not? Why not, man? You know, Reese has potential. I think he needs a loan. North London has said, I think Nelson is quality. It's more of a confidence thing from him. Minutes will help. And I get that minutes will help, but sometimes you need to earn the right to get minutes, you know. Like he drew out, Arteta drew out Maitland-Niles. He's rated his thing and he's got to look in, but you need to give man a reason. You know, don't look. It's not that he's played bad in some games, but it's not that you've played extremely well. You know, hold on to your shirt. You can't drop Smith-Rowe right now. He's held on to that shirt. Saka held on to that shirt. Based on the game against Southampton, Cedric held on to that shirt. You know, don't just play iffy. Hold on to it. You know, Joe Willock, he done his thing in the Europa League. He got a chance against Leeds. It was a terrible performance by everybody. Didn't hold on to his shirt. Once you get that chance, don't let it go. Don't let it go. And like I said, I do think everything is right. Minutes, you know, playing consistently, confidence, you know, injuries, you know, sometimes he can do better. All of these things are true and they're part of the cocktail. He's 21 years of age. He's still young, you know, he can still make it. He can still have a future here, but it is what it is, man. Yes, he's saying people saying Nelson is not the one. Well, neither is Pepe and Williams. So might as well play our own. Fair play. You know, and with a heavy heart, I've given up on Pepe, man. I want Pepe to prove me wrong. I've given up, man. I don't think he's a bad player. I've just given up. Like there's just bare players I've given up in. You know, I've given up in hoping that Bellerin consistently does his thing. You know, the only players I have some expectation for is Gabriel, Gabriel the centre half, Martinelli as well, Partey. You know, Tierney. All of these sort of man, they're the only one. Leno, Aubameyang to a degree, they're the only ones that I have faith in, you know, expectation in people. Jimmy is saying Sokratis been released. We just spoke about that. We just spoke about that. We said, you know, we can't get rid of Ozil and then make Ozil give up his thing and then Sokratis not. And for me, I expect that and I'm happy with that because he's been linked with Betis, he's been linked with Genoa, he's been linked with Olympiacos, and for some reason he's not trying to skate. Like we've made it abundantly clear. The manager has said you can skate and he hasn't skated. So I don't mind that. Let's see what's happening here, people. Is it confirmed? It is here. Chris, big up Chris Wheatley. Hey Chris, if you're watching this, I tried DM you, you know, you acted. I tried DM you. I had to get you for an interview. Is there another DM option? No, there's no DM option. So we have to give my man a miss. You lot go spam him up, people. Big up to who put me onto this? Big up Jimmy, because you know this information would have passed me because I'm online. Let's get into it. I don't know why why is his account muted? Unmute that, man. Why is his account muted? Anyways, people, as you can see here, Arsenal and Sokratis have agreed to terminate the defender's contract. There's an announcement expected imminently. Now, you know, what can I say about Sokratis, people? What can I actually say? Apologies, 1 second, people. Before I do that, I want to clip this up for the guys that aren't watching. So let's say 39, 37. Let's say it was about that. But what can I say about Sokratis? It's taken me by surprise, but it hasn't. You know, it's not surprising. The man hasn't played. We've tried to sell, man. You know, he's not played. He's not even registered in Europa. He can't do anything for us. You know, in terms of playing out from the back, he's probably looking at all those centre halves, the one least likely to do it, the most old school of centre halves out of all of them. 32 years of age as well. He's not relevant to this thing. He needs to keep it moving. He's another one that we overpaid for, you know, and it's just chasing our mistakes. I don't think Sokratis was a terrible player for us. You know, he just weren't good enough. You know, he had some shambles of a moments. He did. I'm by no means saying I'm a fanboy of his, but I just don't think he was that terrible. Either way, it just didn't work out. You get what you pay for. And this is, for me, what I believe in, that, you know, you can't just look at the signings of the Xhakas, the Lacazettes, the Mustafis, all of these big money failures or big money we don't know what we're getting from them. It's the loan players as well, the numerous ones we've got on loan. It's the ones we've got for free as well. And it's also the cut price additions, because I swear Sokratis came for 15 to 18 million, you know, and we took a shortcut. We thought, yo, we're doing it. We're getting Leno. He can speak German. Obviously, we've got a couple of German speakers. He's, you know, we need a centre half. He's a cut price option. You ultimately got what you paid for. You know, you paid 18 million for him. 3 years. Yeah, it's just turned the new year. 3 years later, lo and behold, you're selling Donny. You know, you're getting rid of him. 18 million gone down the drain plus his wage cuts. This just tells me that, you know, we're getting the men, first and foremost, we're getting the players that we need off the books for whatever reason. Ozil, Kolasinac, Sokratis, it didn't happen in the summer, so they're gone. You know, the departure of Sokratis is good for him because they probably paid up his contract. You know, like with Ozil, he's probably, I wouldn't be leaving that money on the floor personally at 32 years of age. Very much doubt he's going to get that sort of deal elsewhere. He might do, but he's probably been given a compensation package. You know, it frees up resources for Arsenal. It frees up space in the squad for Arsenal as well. It gets another player that's out of there. And, you know, we've now got Kolasinac, you know, Macy, not that Macy's relevant, but Macy, Kolasinac, Ozil, Sokratis, these men are all gone now. All the sort of tugs, they've all gone. So that tells you now we can put more effort towards signing players and whatnot. It's 18 million gone down the drain. So I hope we review what went wrong there. But you know what, Sokratis, one thing I didn't have to question was your commitment. I didn't think you was quite levels of what we needed to do. You know, ball playing, you struggled. You even had a time playing right back for us. You did your thing. You know, you're an FA Cup. You leave an FA Cup winner. You know, you can say your time here was a success. You know, I never had to question mark your professionalism or your commitment. It's just you weren't good enough, and it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen for you. So good luck to you. Hopefully you got a little payoff. For Arsenal fans, it's lovely to see that obviously things have been freed up and we've got more money to maneuver. How many appearances did this man actually make for Arsenal Football Club? We all know he played for the 23s the other day at the Emirates when we were allowed. So he played 69 times for Arsenal, and he had some good games. He had some shaky ones. I wonder where he goes now. He's been linked with Genoa. He's been linked with Betis and all of these things. Personally, if I was him, I'd look to return back to Italy personally. But yeah, big up Arsenal for doing that one there. So yeah, save Sokratis, and it frees up spaces as well, crucially, and resources. So again, I won't even count him because we wasn't counting on him for the season. So he's not really a centre-half choice. But you know, when you look at our centre halves, it's another one off the wage book, and it confirms things, because at a time we had 8 centre halves. Now you'd imagine David Luiz and Mustafi follow my man out in the summer. To be honest, Mustafi probably should be going now, but it seems Arteta would rather let him walk for free than get some money for him. So it is what it is. You know, you acted with integrity, Sokratis. You know, you wasn't bad, but you wasn't exactly good. So it is what it is. I big up Reese. You see, I see Reese applying pressure. Let me big up yourself, Reese Harvey, man. So yeah, man, safe. Sokratis just wasn't the level. He just wasn't levels. Ultimately wasn't levels. You get what you pay for. You know, it is what it is. It firmly is what it is. So good luck, goodbye, and good luck to Sokratis. We wish you all the best. But for Arsenal fans, it's, you know, it's needed to happen. And for me, it's also telling, because it tells you that nobody's wanted to buy him, man. Maybe nobody wants to buy him and give a transfer fee to us. You know, this sort of thing here. So it's nice to see that we've tried to move him. It ain't worked out. We said, you know what, keep it moving. And maybe he said, I don't want to go because I want wages. I want my wages. And we said, you know what, we'll probably pay up. They are probably going to give him what he's owed in terms of his wages, similar with Ozil. So which, you know, we've probably given Ozil 7 million. I don't know how much Sokratis' contract is worth, but add that together. I know the two aren't interlapped, but how much potentially does that take out of the transfer kitty? Or was it a thing where the loan that we took out, that helps with supplementing that? I don't know. So we're going to have to see in that regards. But good luck, goodbye and good luck to Sokratis. The less said on him, the better. Hopefully a couple more follow him out of the door. I guess if you're a young centre-half at Arsenal, you're probably hoping that makes you more of a chance. You know, like you said, he was a good professional. It just didn't work out. It happens. It happens. It's as simple as that, man. Bro, we've got big sell. We've got 3 right backs, and none of them are locking it down. So I second you. We need a right back if somebody isn't going to, you know, do the job there, really and truly. S is saying there's 300 odd of you in here and there's only 176 likes. Please hit the like button, man. Help me score higher in the recommended. I'm sure you can all see the subscribe button in the right corner, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. There's 200 odd of you who have not hit the like button. What's all of this, people? You know, God is watching. I'm watching you. I'm talking to you. I know exactly. You know I'm looking at you. If you haven't hit that like button, hit it, because you know you're doing the guy dirty. Man said Dedrick, you know, crazy. And said, DG, I was born in 2006. Was Cesc Fabregas as good as what people make him out to be? Every bit so. Every bit so. Cesc Fabregas was an absolute baller. Absolute baller. Big up yourself, Jordan. Man like DG, the real one. Thanks for getting back to me on Instagram. Hit up the like button, people. Big up, Jordan. Hey, moderators, please don't clip people for a difference of opinions. You know, clip people for being derogatory. Ban people for being derogatory, for being nasty, for spamming, for just being silly. Don't thingy like you did with Jordan and get rid of my man because he asked a question about Ozil. He had a conflicting report on Ozil or opinion on Ozil. Don't do that, please, people, please. I trust you, moderators. Please continue to do your job. You know, to be fair, black sheep, I hear it, but I agree but disagree. I think good defenders will always be good defenders, but fundamentally I share with you, and it's a bit annoying, is that you could be a good defender, but if people deem your ball playing isn't messed and things, you're not good. And equally, you could be a terrible defender, but if you can play out from the back and play a diag pass, everybody wants you in their team. The game's gone mad. I get that with the game advancing there, but there needs to be more requirements, but it's a madness. It's an absolute madness. I tried hitting the like button on Twitch and it turned out to be the unfollow. You better follow that thing back, man. There is a space for Sokratis. Do you know what? If Sokratis was a bit quicker, I think he could get bailed out with that, but he's just not levels, man. He's just not levels. So what else have we got? Let's get into the neutral topics, people. Let's get into the neutral topics. Apologies. Wait, hang on. Charles Watson said, Arsenal are in the market for a creative midfielder this month, but the belief is that it would only be a short-term option until the end of the season to provide cover for Smith-Rowe. To be fair with you, it's what we knew in it. And to be fair with you, I want someone better than Smith-Rowe. I either want a 10 that's better than Smith-Rowe and they can compete, or I want an 8.5. So it could be Smith-Rowe, Partey, and this next man. You know, 3 man that, again, and it's important to remember, players fundamentally here to put his foot in and he can pass the ball forward like you see. You'd have that 8.5, and then you'd have Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe wouldn't have to always drop. Did you not remember how better Santi Cazorla made Ozil and Alexis play? Not just when they linked up, they were on another level. But remember, Santi was just doing the deep line playmaking stuff. Ozil was like, all right, cool. I don't need to drop as deep. I'll just wait for Santi to find me. Then Alexis would clock that. All right, cool. Ozil's on it. We're doing our thing. That's the sort of thing I want. I'm tired of seeing my strikers, my wingers consistently drop into the halfway line. My creative man dropping hella deep. My striker doesn't know whether he should drop deep or stay isolated with the strike with the defenders. You know, and this comes, you know, we need players that want the ball. We need players that are comfortable on the ball. We need players that want to break the lines. You know, if you watch the game back, I'm not taking anything away from the Newcastle game, people, but watching it again and doing my tactical reviews, taking nothing away from Arsenal. I feel we were quality, people. But when I look back at that game, Is it because we was quality in the first versus the second half? I believe yes, on one hand. But then I look at Newcastle in that second half. They stopped doing 2 banks of 4, just sitting back, 11 men behind the ball, 2 banks of 4 sort of thing, just being rigid. They tried to have a goal at us from the minute 1 in the second half. We picked apart their gaps and there was space. So we have a problem breaking down low blocks. And 9 times out of 10 in this Premier League, we are going to play low blocks. So we need to counteract against that. I would like an 8.5. Short-term cover is fine, but who are you going to get? It's just going to keep being, we don't know this to be true, but it's just going to keep being the Odegaards, the Iscos, the Rickapeagues, anybody that's not playing at their team currently, anybody that there's something, we're just going to be linked with them. The club needs to get a creative, man, or an 8.5, or we're in problems. It's as simple as that. Moving away from that, though, people, and I wanted to speak about some neutral football topics, because football is global, it's bigger than just Arsenal, and as you can see here, we've got a couple things here. Should we start with Danny Ings? Now, I'm sure a lot of you, the neutrals, we've got a lot of time for Danny Ings. He's battled back from 2 ACL injuries, 20 million well spent to Southampton. He's a baller. Liverpool got 20 million for him. It looked like a deal at one point. Now it looks like they got shortchanged and Southampton got the deal, and it's credit to Danny Ings. Now, Danny Ings is 29 and he has 2 ACL injuries. Apologies, man said UCL, ACL injuries. So maybe people won't take a chance on him. But the Athletic are saying he wants to play Champions League football, courtesy of the Athletic, which I pay for, so nobody could tell me anything right now. We have at the moment a very tricky situation for every club, I think, in the Premier League. The Southampton manager said, a lot of money in this crisis we are going through. We can only do what we are able to do, what is healthy for us. I think Danny shows us that he wants to be with the club. We know that he's an important player. I hope that we can find an agreement and finally he stays with us. If not, life will go on and this club will also exist. And hopefully we can find a way that we can both live. Now, there's talk of Southampton will not be held to ransom by Ryan Bertrand and also Danny Ings, who are getting interest from Champions League clubs and want to go and do a thing. And I can't blame Danny Ings. You want to play at the highest level. He's 29 years of age, and it seems that everybody remembers how good he is. Why would you not want to maximize your earnings and try and play in Europe's elite competition and things like that? He's only 29. People might look at that and say, oh, 29, but look at Vardy. Not everybody's Vardy. Vardy is different, of course. Vardy came into the Premier League at 27, 28. He's now 34 or something, and he's been scoring goals. So you can't always look at the injury at the age. I could understand if people took a pass on Danny Ings. He's had 2 big injuries, 29 years of age. If I'm Southampton, I'll probably want 30 million for him. I know he's got a year left. Is it necessarily worth it? And is he going to be the star striker? You can make it. Apparently, he wants to go to United. He would be a fantastic option for Manchester United. But is he going to be the starter? He'd be a great option for City. Is he going to be a starter? Just in terms of the squad, I think he'd be a good option for Liverpool. There'd be something different. Is he a starter? Spurs tried to grab him a few years ago, as well as Grealish. It'd be crazy if they had both of them. Is he starting for Spurs? He probably does start for Arsenal, in my opinion, but they said Champions League club, and to be fair, Spurs were in Europa, but I can't see it happening. They're trying to find an agreement. As you lot know, he scored 25 goals last year. Apparently, to start, it's worth noting that these talks remain at a very delicate stage. Discussions have continued to take place over the last week or so. Ings plays no part in negotiations. He leaves that to his long-term agent. Now, of course, he does. His agent isn't just going to negotiate things for no sake of it. He's going to ask Ings indirectly what he wants. Like, come on now. Apparently, money has never been the issue. Southampton have offered the 28-year-old a financial package that would see him become their highest earner. He'd be earning more than their top earner, Fraser Forster. And to be fair with you, that's a bit of a mad thing that he's your highest earner. To be fair, our highest earner barely played for us in the last 10 months of his career. So who knows? Apparently, but that isn't important to Ings. Chatting crap. Of course, money is important. It's important to all of us. And it never has been. Gassing it up a bit. The wages offered have already been agreed between the two camps. It's about the opportunity for playing for a top club. So does he want a release clause or a release fee of some sort? Maybe. Apparently he knows that if he signs a new contract, then that almost certainly rules out the possibility of a side like Manchester United or City paying what Southampton would deem acceptable. However, if there's a release clause inserted in terms of a new deal, that door would stay open, and this strikes right at the very heart of the dilemma between Ings and Southampton. Now, for me, I get it, with all due respect to Southampton, and I'm definitely not trying to talk nonsense about them because we're playing them twice. I get it why he want to move, but at the same time, there's something to be said in terms of stability. Now, Jamie Vardy's a quality player, and you know, Leicester's a better club than us. But again, if he came to Arsenal, would he be able to have this longevity that he's had? You know, because Leicester are not going to get rid of him. They're not going to replace him. You know, he's retired from international football. Is he going to get that? You know, you could do well at United and City, but, you know, the way it is, United and City will probably look for more, man. They'll probably buy a couple other players, or they have a young player that comes through the academy, and it complicates things, people. My point is, he'd probably be a lot more disposable. You know, stability is something. I get it. You don't want to, you're 28, turning 29. You don't want to look back in a couple of years and say, what if I didn't take that chance? We all want to play at the be at the highest in whatever field we are in our life. So it is what it is. For what it's worth, I'm not going to read all of this, but Southampton have said they will not be held to ransom in this regards, and they'd rather let man walk for free. So fair play. You know, he could do a Vardy, and we're going to get onto Bale and Yedlin in a second, people. You know, big up Brendan Rodgers. You know, they beat Chelsea 2-0 2-0 yesterday, and Brendan Rodgers, again, I'm always singing his praises. They're a well-engined unit. They're a very good coach side. They've got a number of good individuals. You know, Timothy Castange, I think he's very underrated personally, and he won more duels and made more tackles than any other player against Chelsea, and also he's very good in the final third. You know, they've got some great players, you know, Fofana, Baller, Harvey Barnes doing his thing, Maddison doing his thing, James Justins and this Cassano doing his thing, and there's a bunch of other players that I haven't named that we always talk about. You know, Wes Morgan ain't playing, but he's the best in the Premier League. Shout out to my Jamaican brother, but is what it is. It was very interesting to hear James Maddison speak. He's got personality and probably got a future as a pundit. And, you know, James Maddison, at a point, it looked like it was getting peak for you in terms of England, because, you know, Foden looked like he's going and should be going. You know, Mount had a bit of form. Maddison weren't in this lineup. I don't think Southgate in his heart truly rates Maddison like that. But now Maddison's doing his thing, and he scored some 2 good goals recently. And this is the first time he scored 3 consecutive league appearances for the first time in his career. You know, I remember Maddison at Coventry. Imagine we went for Maddison and Grealish before they became these stupid prees. And another one, you know, you've got Grealish, Foden, you know, he's going to bring Mount by default. Does that mean that Maddison is not getting on the plane in the Euros? I think he's someone you got to look at personally. It is what it is. Moving away from that, and we've spoken about Rodgers, we've got to speak about Frank Lampard very quickly. Is he on borrowed time, people? Is Frank Lampard on borrowed time? I say that because I thought he would have got the sack already. I thought he would have got the sack already, but he's lasted. But either way, if you spend 200 odd million and you've got 5 defeats in your last 8, you've got to ask questions of yourself. You've got to ask questions of yourself. What is this? Please don't be no madness. I don't know what I'm thinking here. What's this? Oh, this is the same tweet by James. Clearly, I tried to remember, but yeah, man, 5 defeats in the last 8. You lost to Arsenal, which tells you everything. You know, they've been playing poorly. You know, let's remember, it did look like they were going to have a league title challenge. It did look like there was even talk of Frank Lampard signing a new deal. So you can't always flip it. But boy, you know, I think what saves Lampard from being asked questions at Sky Sports is because he used to work there, and he's got his brother-in-law and Jamie Redknapp. He's very reluctant to critique Lampard. You know, ultimately it's got to fall on him. You spent 200 million, you know. He clearly vexed with all the players. He's vexed with all the players because he dropped everyone, rotated everyone. You know, Reece James seems to be having a tough time. Callum Hudson-Odoi can't buy a start. You know, centre-halves, I don't know what's going on with them at centre-half. You know, Werner and Havertz, they're playing poorly, and you spent big money on them. You know, ultimately he's got to lay at the feet of the manager. He spoke about being a title challenger and things. Now he's saying that they're not ready to compete. He's dug his players out a couple of times, people, but he said here, I am worried, from the form we were in to get so quickly into the form we're in now. Even the Fulham win on Saturday and some other wins in there, we should be better than losing 5 in 8. To be fair, sometimes you've rid your luck. You know, you haven't played well. You know, you're. And like you heard Maddison, everybody can tell Chelsea are appalling at set pieces. Chelsea have a problem following runners. You've tried many different systems, and playing many different players in systems is not working. I'll always bang the drum about Callum Hudson-Odoi playing. He deserves to start. You know, you're not playing your better players. You know, I don't know what you're seeing with your strikers. You know, I would buy Haaland, but the very fact that you lot are still looking for a striker despite having 3 in your squad tells you everything. You know, the midfield is too imbalanced. Sometimes, 9 times out of 10, you're just seeing Mason Mount aggressively press and Kante being exposed exposed like against us. You know, they rid their luck against Fulham. Maybe Fulham at 11 men get something out the game. He said we were beaten by the better team. They were sharper than us. They ran more than us. They looked like a team in form, and we look like a team out of form. So the players are either not playing for the manager or not playing for themselves. And this is where I felt we were as an Arsenal fan. He said we were asleep in moments. I felt like they were quite a lot of moments in the first half where our sharpness wasn't there. The basics and bare minimums are to run, sprint, and cover grounds. And too many of our players didn't do that. So that tells me we don't believe in Verdi's, man. You know, if they're not doing the basic premises of being a footballer, they're not deserving to wear the shirts. So you've got a drop, man. And the statistics are very concealing people. Like I said, he's frozen out Tomori, he's frozen out Rudiger, and he's desperate, so he's brought him back in. You know, Thiago Silva and Zuma. All we heard is, oh, what a fantastic partnership that is. That's quickly gone down the toilet. You know, Reece James is struggling. You know, Callum Hudson-Odoi can't buy a game. And to be fair, when you're playing poorly, you need these sort of man to get you out of things. You need to play people with a reason to play. At least Callum Hudson-Odoi, you might say, you know what, F you, Lampard. I don't care about you, but I want to play football. You're right, S. Lampard in. Lampard to the death, man. Anyone that loses against Arsenal, Lampard in. You know, it is what it is. And it's quite concealing, you know. Forget the fact that he spent 200 million. You can't really see a basic sort of style of play. You can't see a lot of things, you know. Chelsea's fewest points, ironically, was Jose Mourinho not sacked when he lost to Leicester. And I don't think he's going to lose his job. But you look at it, Chelsea's fewest points after 19 games in the Premier League. They finished 14th one year, 10th the next year, 6th one year, 11th in both of these years. 2021, who knows? Because it's a crazy season and narratives can change. You know, Chelsea win the next 3-4 games, sack talk goes down. That's how fickle football is, as you don't know, people. Since the start of last season, only Newcastle have conceded more away goals in the Premier League than Chelsea. So set pieces and conceding away from home, you need to fix up. You know these have been problems, and it looks like, you know, it just looks like he's tried to do too much and done too little. There has to be question marks asked of him, people, really and truly. But I mean, start properly, consider, because all the time sort of thing, especially when you've been in this poor form. Like we said, they've lost 5 of their 8 games. Sometimes Callum Hudson-Odoi is being brought on when there's 2 minutes. You know, even looking at Chelsea, man said Chelsea. When Chelsea played us, Callum Hudson-Odoi, for me, should have started that game. I'm happy he didn't. But who came off the bench and invented that one goal? You know, who got their goal, more or less? Mount kicked the ball into Callum Hudson-Odoi, and then what happened in the rest of it? It is what it is. Matt said, what if, I think you mean, what if Havertz and Werner are just frauds? Do you know what? I like Havertz. I thought Werner was going to be a baller in it. I thought, you know, what I was seeing from Werner in the Bundesliga, he looked like a cold-hearted killer in front of goal. He looked like, you know when a man's just born to score goals. Now he's looking, I don't want to say soft, because it's not the right term, and especially where in today's day and age, but he looks a bit more fragile mentally than I thought. He's not a sort of Jamie Vardy mentality, if that's what I mean. Like, you know, if you don't do the job, you're just eating jam out of a jar. Like, it's crackers, it's water and crackers, or going back to waters and crackers if you don't do this thing. Werner looks short on confidence. He looks a bit soft. He looks like nothing can go right. Like, even yesterday, I felt Werner was hard done by to be disallowed that goal. Even one goal will do a lot for his confidence. Havertz, I think, you know, and again, Werner has to ask a lot of his problems. I do think Havertz is being... He has a bit of poor form he needs to answer for, but it's difficult. 1 minute you're playing as a false striker, then a 10, then on the wings, then deep lying. You know, Havertz needs to understand what this is about, but also it's not. I don't think you're making him a jack of all trades, master of none. So it is what it is in that regards. Now, I'm not saying David Moyes is the Messiah, but you know me, people. I believe in praising and critiquing fairly. I feel many of us, myself included, when David Moyes isn't doing right, or David Moyes isn't doing right. When, apologies, somebody said something. George, I think you misheard me. I said he set up the goal. If you look at it, it's Mason Mount's long ball to Callum Hudson-Odoi, and he set in Tammy. I said he set it up. But moving away from that, I'm sure, like I was saying, many people in relation to David Moyes were quick to get onto him. We're quick to say he's not good enough. We're quick to make memes and laugh and all of these things. And I think when you look at the league table, you know, you can't disrespect West Ham. You know, you can't disrespect them. They're on 32 points. Obviously, things can change. There's goal difference. There's fixtures to come and whatnot. But you can't disrespect West Ham. You can't say West Ham are not in with a chance of getting fourth. Again, it's January. All that matters is being at the end of the season. So who knows? A man said, am I on the right channel? Boy, it depends what you want, man. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I talk about football. So if you do not want to hear general football chat, You know where the door is. You know what video you have to click off. But anyways, you can't say West Ham are not involved, people. 32 points. I was saying Everton are involved in the top 4 shouts. 32 points apiece for both sides. You got Spurs sadly in 5th. Liverpool, for me, will advance. It's quite good. Look at the top 10 players. Even Arsenal, can we do a thing? No, of course we can't. But let's see, man. Let's deal with the people above us in Southampton first. But again, there's not much in it. You have to praise West Ham, really. You have to give David Moyes some of his flowers. I'm not saying he's the best manager in the world and all of these sort of things. He's, like you can see here, West Ham have picked up 32 points from 19 league games this season, people. That's the highest ever points tally at the halfway point this season. Now, we've seen many teams at the halfway point, mess it up. But I'm just saying, for today in January, you have to praise, man, for this. And look, like you said, it's a crazy season, but they're now ahead of us. They're 3 points off 3rd place. They're ahead of Arsenal and Chelsea. Arsenal was getting relegated, so that's something not to praise. But these that were title challenges, allegedly, we'll have to see. David Moyes has just gone 5 points off the top, as you lot can see. He's 2 points behind Liverpool and 5 above Chelsea. 5 above Arsenal, sorry. He arrived when West Ham was 17th, people, midway through last season. So again, praise and critique fairly. And David Moyes himself has said, I'd like to dream a lot, but we're very humble and we understand we're West Ham. We're not going to start shouting things too soon because history has shown we haven't always backed it up, and I want to be the one to back it up. We're going step by step and making good progress, picking up points. I want us to be competing at the top end, and to do that, we have to keep winning. Facts, you have to keep winning, and I'm sure West Ham fans would love to be in Europe in some capacity. So we'll have to see what is happening firmly in regards to that, people. Sorry, I'm just deleting things so it makes it easier for me to view. I'm also sorry if I keep looking over here. It's because I got my screen. I find it easier to read there than versus there, people, if that makes sense to you. No worries, George. No worries, George. No worries, George, man. I praise that, man. SA says, love the general football content. A lot of you do. A lot of you seem to just think I can just talk about Arsenal forever. Man aware Black has said, but ain't you comparing them to teams without experienced managers? Not sure what you're getting at there. Must have missed what you're on about, but fair play, my guy. Whatever you had to say, shout at you. Yeah, man. No worries, live from Planet X. It's been terminated. Well, at this moment in time, I haven't seen it officially said on Arsenal.com, but a very credible source has gone on and said it here, innit, people? It's more or less done. Announcement imminent. So, Arsenal's admin team and all them things are probably firmly on that case. Let's see if there's any official things. So, yeah, at this moment in time, there's nothing official on Arsenal.com. So we'll probably see that in the afternoon, if that makes sense. I don't know that. I'm just assuming. Big up Antonio as well. I should have put him back in my FPL team. He's doing what he needs to do, people. Anybody can get top 4 at this point. You're right. But I refuse to dream of Arsenal getting there. Half Vlogs has said, big up yourself, Deluded. Love the channel. You think we'll sign anyone at all this window? Hopefully. Bro, what's that one? You're allowed to think that if you want. We are 30 minutes off safety. This is golden content as usual. I appreciate that. I appreciate you lot. He does deserve more plaudits. There was a comment. It's just gone. Someone got shagged, but they said something about Arsenal's flops. Nobody says anything about Gareth Bale barely playing. Nobody says anything. It's only when Arsenal plays. It's barely enough's made of. A lot's made of Werner, but not enough is made of Thingy. There's not enough is made of Havertz, in my opinion. If they played for other teams, we already know what to expect, people. We already know what to expect. Star is saying we're only 13 points from safety. Fingers crossed. Let's keep doing what we need to do in that regards. Hopefully we can do our thing. Kohler's contract is up in the summer. No, it's not. Kolasinac is contracted until 2022, so we're going to need to make a decision. Away from that, though, and, while I'm praising David Moyes and talking about football from football reasons, I'm sure you all saw this. It caused quite a stir, people. Robert Snodgrass's omission from the West Bromwich Albion side as they played West Ham, people. Apparently, the Premier League will investigate whether the competition rules have been broken. This is allegedly because of Sam Allardyce's comments about, and he's always been a bit dodgy. Pardon me, they had a gentleman's agreement not to play him. Now, I'm not going to lie. It's a bit like it's got echo. It's not the same, but it's got echoes of the Tevez thing at West Ham when they beat the drop. I'm not going to lie. If I'm Sheffield United and Fulham, I'm saying to the Premier League, fix up, fix up. It's not that he's gone on loan. They've said there's a gentleman's agreement. What happens if he played and he scored and they dropped 3 points? What happened? You know, I'll be trying to link this towards them not getting relegated. I'll be trying. It's reaching, but I would be trying to use this against West Brom if I was the other teams. And apparently, under normal circumstances, Snodgrass would have been eligible to play against West Ham as his transfer was only permanent. As you lot know, it is only loan deals that such restrictions apply in the Premier League. In those circumstances, a player cannot face his former club, which is why you didn't see Ruben Loftus-Cheek play against Chelsea. But Sam Allardyce, so you remember why he got sacked from the England job, so he's probably guilty. He said, we could only get the deal done with that agreement. There was an agreement between the two clubs there was an agreement between the two clubs that in this game he would not play. Now, in theory, that doesn't sound wrong, but again, I mean, if West Brom had to do what they needed to do to get the player, you know, they could sit there and say to the Premier League, yo, we were desperate. They wouldn't give us the player. We begged them. Boom, boom, boom. For me, this is somewhat the same things that kind of got Big Sam the sack from the England job. This is all dodgy and things like that. And to be fair, again, I don't know all the context is, but surely if they didn't open their mouths, this isn't a thing. This isn't a thing. As you lot can see here, people, Premier League rule, I think that's an I7 listed in the competition's 2020-21 handbook. No club shall enter into a contract which enables any other party to that contract to acquire the ability materially to influence its policies or performance of its teams in league matches. So again, it did kind of influence it. You're kind of guilty in that regards. And I don't know what sort of sanctions West Bromwich Albion and or West Ham could face, but again, I think that brings it up into debate, people. Again, if they just shut their mouths and didn't mention anything, you know, it's not a thing. So make of that what you will. Allow me, people, as I just hit the delete button, covered all of that. I wanted to speak about this as well, because Gareth Bale, you know, it wasn't going to be the Gareth Bale we thought we was going to see in the Premier League. Apart from, you know, a feel-good factor and all those sort of things, it didn't really, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, but at the same time, it hasn't happened. And Berbatov, former Spurs and United man, apologies, people. Let me take this to the face. It's getting cold. Let me just bang that out. Bale is not producing for Jose, and it could be a majority of reasons. We all knew when Bale went to Spurs, he's not going to be fully fit straight away. He's not going to be the Gareth Bale that, you know, we all saw him running past Bartra for Madrid and what he did to make on in a Spurs shirt previously. We knew he's not going to be that. Personally, I thought, yeah, he's barely played. He's had a lot of injuries. The first thing is fitness. They've got to be careful with him. It'd be naive to expect him to just jump and play 90 minutes week in, week out consistently. It's not going to make sense. But I did expect that this time you would see him. You know, you're not even seeing him play when you know, Jose is resting squads and things like that. And I don't know, you know, Jose is someone that hasn't got much time for players where you don't put your body on the line. So someone like Bale, where you've got to watch very carefully, definitely when you spent 20 million on his loan, beyond the feel-good factor in it giving a short-term boost to this club, I don't know what's happened. Now, again, we're at the halfway point in the Premier League. You know, he's missed out of football for a year. Maybe it's taken half a year to get him back to standard and we're going to see the Gareth Bale. But there's no way around it. He is one of the Premier League flops right now, you know. He is. He hasn't done anything. And 20 million on a loan signing sort of thing. I love Gareth Bale as a footballer. I used to work at the Spurs ground. I know Spurs Arsenal fans might be upset, but Gareth Bale's one of the most loveliest footballers I've ever met, people. You know, he's a lovely guy. I used to work at Spurs, you know, on match days, saw him with my guys, got a picture, you know, wouldn't have thought it was Gareth Bale. The man is so shy, sort of thing. Man is so shy. Gareth Bale, you know, Jose's been getting onto him indirectly, and you know, Berbatov has as well. But let's see exactly what Berbatov has said. You know, he's 31 years of age as well, which makes this even more costly. We all knew he would manage to do something, but he's only managed to score 3 goals in 12 appearances. To be fair, did he not come off the bench, or did he not? I'm sure he did a madness against Brighton or something. They were struggling in the Premier League at home and he won the game for them. Apart from that, I would have expected to see more. And I'm sure we all would have thought it would have been he would have given them a different dimension. Like in an ideal world, he would have locked down that right-hand side, potentially. I know there's options to play Bale behind Kane on things like that, but he hasn't done any of that. Berbatov himself has said, I was expecting a lot of him coming to Spurs to shake things up. And for him, Son and Kane to make a trio up front that could rival Liverpool's attacking trio, for example. For the moment, it is not 100% working. Hopefully he can get back to 100% and start playing. And for me, you know, looking at it, I think that might be the thing. You know, he's not played best part for a year, so we're going to take him half a year to get fit. There's obviously some injuries. We're 19 games in. He could have a big part to play now, but I think there's something in, you know, Jose isn't playing him. I think Jose isn't playing him for a reason. Is it about fitness? Does he think he's not at the level? Does he think he can trust him? Who knows, people? Who knows? Loan signings haven't seemed to work out for both our clubs in North London, really. So it's not been working out for the moment, people. And he said, if not in the end, it's an easy decision. He can go back to Madrid. And for Bale, I would have thought this would have been a permanent signing, all but naming that he comes here. I'm sure similar to James Rodriguez going for free to Everton, Bale, you know, Madrid would have bitten their hands off. And I can't lie, I'm not trying to be that guy, people. I'm not trying to be that guy, but is Bale committed to playing football? Because we all saw him loving playing golf in Madrid. You know, is he committed? He played golf very early on when he moved to Spurs. I mean, if this is other players who are a bit different, people are saying their commitment, their focus isn't on football. It's crazy to see the sort of unconscious and conscious biases and privileges you get depending on who you are and your makeup. I have to consider that. It could be that. Who knows? And like you said, for whatever reason, Gareth Bale is injury free now because he's on the bench for the team, but he's not playing from the first minute. So it's obvious that he's not producing the right level of football Jose wants from him, which is a shame because I like him a lot. So again, he might be able to play against Wickham, but again, he's got to be up there for flops. Again, I saw it here, people, so I'm going to touch on it. Chris Charles Watts apologies. Another one I've tried to interview and bring on here for you guys. Ain't worked out. Arsenal target Buendia, happy to wait. And actually, yeah, if Arsenal have not put a solid bid on the table for you to Norwich, why are you going to go to Norwich and say, yeah, I want to leave? Unless there's been positive indirect chat between your agents and the middlemen from Arsenal, and they're saying a bid is imminent if you're on this thing, there's no point leaving Norwich. You've got no reason. You know, it's in your best interest to just focus on football. You're getting more and more admirers. He's had a good season and he's been, you know, what was that game? Him and Cantwell scored and they won 2-0. He played everybody off the park in that game. It's in his best interest. He's either going to move back to the Premier League with Norwich. He's either going to get a move at the end of the season, or Arsenal retain their interest, or it's just about staying focused. It's literally just about staying focused, sort of thing. You look at Odegaard at Celtic. You look at Van Dijk's second season at Celtic. You look at Alexis Sanchez's last season at Arsenal, for when players have kind of dug their heels in and their performance levels have dropped off, sort of thing. Now they've all still got moves, but you get the point. Apparently Buendia is not expecting Arsenal to make a late move for him in the January window. So yeah, he has no choice but to be happy until the summer before deciding his future, and which he'll be back up there. As you lot know, like I said, he's had a good season, 7 goals, 6 assists so far. They're top of the league in the Championship at the halfway stage, and it's down to them if they want to get promoted. Apparently, whilst Buendia believes he should be playing in the Premier League, sources close to the player have told Goal that he remains fully focused on Norwich and their promotion push. The Argentine's representatives, who also look after Martinez, which again, that's a lot of reason people are linking him to us, have a good relationship with Arsenal and are in regular contact with Edu. Now, we've got to remember, just because they're in contact doesn't mean it's for Buendia. You know, we've previously had Martinez. I'd assume there's probably a couple more Arsenal players or South American players, or maybe players of interest that Arsenal are interested in. So it doesn't always mean Buendia. Apparently, they're aware of Arsenal's interest in Buendia, but concrete discussions about a potential move this month have not taken place, and Norwich have not been contacted by the North Londoners. So there's no move. If you're not speaking to middlemen and advisors, if you're not contacting the club, then it's all just paper talk. So why would Buendia? I think if there was positive stuff and encouragement, maybe he says, I want to leave. Why would you go out and say you're going to leave if the club ain't done nothing? And apparently he's accepted that a switch is highly unlikely, and he just more or less, not going to read it all, just has to get on with things, people. It is what it is. We know previously, shout out to you, Arsene Wenger, but we have to move that. You know, we've previously heard his manager say he's a proper team player, concentrated in team sessions. And the last game, he was absolutely happy. And he knows he has a coach and teammates who want him to be successful and love him. He's not going to say anything different, people. He really isn't. So that's that in relation to Buendia. I didn't want to circle that again, people. The table is crazy. Table is absolutely crazy, off topic, people. 27 points. I don't like to do the if thing with Arsenal. It's dangerous. If I was fast, I'd be a footballer. But if we win our next 2 games and grab those 6 points, Would need a lot to happen with those above us, but again, it puts things into perspective. Really does. The relegation race, I must admit, I don't know who's getting relegated, because I think, you know, Sheffield are nailed on gone. They can get out of it, but Sheffield are nailed on gone. I personally think West Brom are not good enough. I think Fulham, I'd rather Fulham stay up. You know, I got no beef with Fulham. I like what Scott Parker's trying to do. I'd rather, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather Burnley go down. Burnley, out of all four, I would love Burnley to go down the most. Like Burnley, I don't know why I don't like them. I just want them to go down. But I don't know, man. Fulham are putting in committed performances, but fundamentally, you know, they didn't get a result against City. They didn't get a result against Chelsea. You know, they're playing United, and what they're gonna be without Bobby Reid and Robertson, the fullback now. I think Bobby Reid misses out because he's got too many yellows, and I could be wrong. And I think obviously my man got sent off. To be fair, I wouldn't mind looking at Fulham's Robertson if and when Fulham go down as a potential sort of Kieran Tierney backup, someone utilised within the squad, personally, people. So we have to see. Should we see if there's anything else in relation to Arsenal or anything Arsenal, people? Just keep, you know, it's going to be the same thing. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Before I get into that, people, we'll get into that in a sec. But yeah, bloody right. Yeah. Who's the journalist? Jonathan Spencer. You're bored, man. I'll hold all the bants if you lot get onto me, and it does happen. But yeah, right. Eriksen and Torreira swapping deals. Yeah, bloody right, mate. Yeah, right. So we've got a cancel Torreira's loan move at Atletico, where his agent allegedly says he's happy. So we'd have to move him, you know, we'd have to move him off and find an agreement with them and then send him to Inter. Now, for him, it'd be great. He'd be back in Italy, a place where he needs to be. It wouldn't help anyone, you know, because we'd have to take on Eriksen's wages. We don't know what we're getting from Eriksen as well. You got rid of Ozil. Why would you bring in Eriksen, the exact same player? It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense in that regards. Joel, see in the comments, don't ask silly question, man. So yeah, what are you lot saying? I haven't been showing you lot enough love at all. What's all this rap business going on, man? Come out the thing with that, man. What's that? What's the rat images? No spamming, please. Be sensible, folks. Be sensible. Thank you for being sensible. Jay said, yo, yes, DG, what's going on with Mavropanos? Well, I'm actually watching Stuttgart versus Gladbach, and it's 73 minutes in. He didn't start. I don't know if he's going to come off the bench, so I don't think he's going to get minutes here. So it is what it is. I personally think we're going to sell Mavropanos, but who knows? He signed a new deal, did he not, a few weeks ago? Who knows, man? But I think we're going to keep it moving in that regards, people. We're going to get into this article in a second, I promise you. I'm just seeing what you guys are saying in the comments. They do have the same agent, but it's not to mean anything, you know. It's like us being, I don't mind us being cool with Kaya Jaratkin. Like, you know, Wolves are good with a couple of agents, but it comes down to money. You know, if you have money, you can utilize these relationships and get the best players. If you don't have money or you're not prepared to put money, then you have to, like I previously said, then you have to be content with holding a Willian and this sort of F3 there that we're dealing with. It's like that. Please allow the spamming thing. You know, there's none of that, man. Please, because if you lot keep doing the spamming thing, I'm not going to be able to see what the hell you lot are saying, people. And I'm sure you're all good guys, but you're just going to get blocked, you know. And moderators, I see you lot clearing up. Stop that nonsense, man. I don't know who slandered Rob Holding. I'm not speaking about Rob Holding at all. Man is saying Sokratis is official. Man is saying look at Arsenal's Twitter page and what's your thoughts on Edu's comments. Let's go and see, man. And I thought I was only going to be here on a quick thing, people. Where have we got? Thank you, Papa. So official confirmation of what we've already known, and that Sokratis has departed. As you lot can see here, Sokratis has left the club, people. It is what it is. Thank you, Papa. Working closely with Sokratis and his team, we have decided to cancel his contract by mutual consent. This gives Papa the freedom to negotiate a contract with a new club and return to action as soon as possible. So what does this tell you? For a while, we haven't been able to move him off. We haven't been able to make money on him. We haven't been able to move him. You know, there might have been offers and suggestions, but none of the interest has materialized. And at 32 years of age, not that it's an ageist thing, 32 years of age, a man that can be described as Deadwood, a man that isn't a bad defender, but isn't a great one either. Doesn't, when it comes to ball playing, he's the least ball playing ability centre half we have. You know, you've seen Sokratis be utilized by Arteta, but he's not his guy. He's not his guy. It hasn't worked. So now we've said, you know what, similar to paying up Mesut Ozil's contract, we'll pay up yours, sort of thing. Because it did appear like Ozil, these lot would have been happy to sit there until the end of the season, collect their cash, and then keep it moving. We've said, you know what, we'll pay up your contract. Ozil's contract was worth 7 million. I'm not sure how much Sokratis is worth, but it's bound to have been a couple. So it's probably 9 million now. And we're, you know, considering we bought him for 18 million, we've probably paid him whatever to terminate his contract, because he's not going to do that for free. You know, it's proven costly, sort of thing. And, you know, he's acted with integrity. He helped us. You know, he was part of a squad that got to the Europa League final, as it says. He leaves winning an FA Cup. You know, he can leave with his head held high. He made 69 appearances for us. Leave with your head held high. It is what it is in that regards, people. Edu himself has said, on behalf of Mikel, our coaches, players, and everyone at the club, I'd like to thank Papa for his contribution to the club. He has been a very important part of our group and has been a model professional throughout. The negotiations to end his contract have been collaborative, and we wish Papa and his family well for the future. So we've got him off the wage books firmly. That means we can now have more room to maneuver. It further does that part to somewhat sorting out what we're doing in relation to our centre halves, because in an ideal world, you know, Sokratis, David Luiz, Mustafi, they're all gone. You know, I like Chambers, but Chambers is almost a forgotten man. He might be someone that's moved on. And then we progress with Marie, Gabriel, Saliba, Rob Holding, and I do believe the club should and would bring in another centre half, people. So that's what we're seeing. In relation to Sokratis, I don't think he was a bad player, but I don't think he was necessarily a good one. The only feeling I personally get with Sokratis, people, is you get what you pay for. And I see 18 million as mismanagement. You know, you got 69 appearances for him. There were some games he played very well. He had some good moments and some good form, but generally you're scratching your head if you was to think of standout performances where he's bossed it. So again, it goes to what I was saying earlier about it's not just the big money signings, the 72s, the 40s, the 52s, the 35s. That's not the only mismanagement of wages. It's sometimes, you know, the free transfers we've received. How, you know, mismanagement among, you know, bringing in players on loan, and also cut price deals, because 18 million for us shouldn't be cut price, but I define that as cut price. Would you not? I would say that's cut price. You know, Runnison cut price, very expensive. And I think when you look at those 2018, I don't know if the club are genuinely looking at practices, because when you look at those 2018 signings, it ain't worked out for too many of them. Guendouzi, it's not been because of ability, it's been because of how he's carrying on. You know, we did hear there was problems around his attitude. Now, I don't like them preconceptions, but in hindsight, did we do our due diligence? You know, Torreira, for whatever reason, it didn't work out here. It didn't work out at Atletico. You know, is his abilities there? Is his mentality there? You know, can we learn from this? Sokratis, you know, you get what you pay for. We tried to get a cheap, competent option. Ultimately, we got what we paid for. Is there something to learn from this? Because we've done the cheapskate thing with David Luiz and obviously Sokratis, and they've had good moments and lesser moments. A bit of a conspiracy theorist, but I think Sokratis and Ozil partly marginalized was over that wage cut stuff, maybe Kolasinac as well, on top of all three just needing to go from a footballing perspective. So I won't say congratulations, but, you know, our short-term relationship between us two, go and do your thing, Sokratis. At the end of the day, you're only 32, so you've still got a lot of time. And if you go to Italy, 32 is the new 22 sort of thing. You know, Leno worked out. You're fully right in that. Leno worked out. Leno's been a good signing, but, you know, that's one out of the how many. Thanks for correcting me. But I'm just saying, look at them signings, people. It's a bit booky when you look at it, really. You know, I'm just saying, can we learn from our practices? In the same way, we've loaned out, man, to clubs, and we've got a loan manager. Not too many of our loans work out. Loan for young players, not too many. You get some that are banging it. You know, Matt Smith is doing his thing. Not too many work out. They go through good and bad moments. So are we looking at what we're doing right and wrong? You know, Eddie and Nketiah's loan didn't work out at Leeds. Are we going back and saying, yo, all right, cool, it didn't work out. What did we do wrong? What can we do better? And if we look at it again, it's just the same period. It must be. In terms of incomings, nah, man. Was this the same season? But we bought my man in January. I don't think Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang count. I'll count. Nah, this ain't it, man. I'm sure this ain't it. I'm sure that ain't it. I'm trying to find our sign. Let me go to the tried and trusted transfer mark. I'm trying to find our signing. Bro, Leno's proved me wrong as well. Leno's proved me very wrong. I still don't, I'm not 100% convinced in Leno, but he's my keeper. You know, I don't think there's a need to force him out. The only way I'm looking at a different sort of first choice keeper is if the whole squad is in the way we want it to be. Do you get it? Like if we, I'm sure, you know, we all know midfield, fullbacks, all of these things. If it was all in the way we wanted it to be, I'd be looking at a keeper. But even then, if we had the squad we believe we need to have to get top four, I think Leno would be cool. It's just for me, you know, I'd look at Leno, but Leno's proved me wrong. Leno's done what he's needed to do. I got nothing wrong with being proven wrong. I like Leno. I said Leno is the only one I can really appreciate in this squad. You know, if it's not Leno, to a degree, Aubameyang to a degree, based off past credit, more so Martinelli, Gabriel, Saka, Tierney, Partey. They're the only players off the top of my head I have, if I haven't said Tierney as well, expectations. I don't have expectations on other men. You know, some men are going to go through good form. They might surprise me with playing well. I don't really believe in much of them people. So 2018, 17, 18 season, let's go. I think this is when Sokratis came to the club. I could be wrong, people. So again, some of these were obviously bought in January, I believe. But yeah, rivals. Where's Sokratis? Can't have been it because Sokratis ain't here. I can't see his name. But what year did Sokratis join this club, bro? It must have been this year. It must have been this season. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, looking at that, obviously these men were all on loan and that they're all irrelevant. This is what you get when you do the cheapskate thing. It didn't bang. Out of all them signings, only one signing banked. I think I love Torreira. I want Torreira to come back, but I haven't got time for the yatty thing. You know, if you pull your pants up and start moving 30 or leave because it's not working out at Atletico. For me, even more so, we can say Arsenal was a bit political. Atletico, everything is set up for Torreira to have the best time. He fits their team play. He got a manager, better South American man. We heard talk about not settling off the field. You got it to all settle off. So why hasn't it happened for you? Why are you talking about Valencia and Edu saying these? You need to ask yourself what you're not doing. You're this. What he's 22. He can't be 22. I'm sure Torreira's the same age as me. He needs to fix up. Like you need to fix up. Pull your pants up. Start moving 30. 24 years of age. So what? A year younger than me, people. Pull your pants up. I love Torreira, but he's on a yatty thing. Simple as that. You know, only one. So like I said, Torreira, could we have done due diligence, not on his ability, on his mentality and how he would fare in other countries? You know, it ain't worked out in Spain, ain't worked out in England. If he goes back to Italy, maybe it does. If it doesn't, question marks. Leno's worked out, but even Leno has his question marks. But we're going to allow Leno. Sokratis, ultimately, you didn't get £18 million worth. Guendouzi, similar to Torreira, it's not due to ability, it's how he's been carrying on. So again, we heard that with Lorient. You know, could we have tamed that better or could we have taken a pass on him? We still stand to make a decent profit on him. We bought him for pennies. You know, he'd at least get 15, 20 million, which I think is too cheap. You bought Denis Suarez on loan, didn't bang. Again, you know, Denis Suarez, Ceballos twice. When you add up all these loan fees, it's not banging. You know, Lichtsteiner, again, you tried to bring him in as a calm option. It didn't bang. Like, it didn't bang. And sometimes when you buy cheap, you're buying twice. Bro, we did this in 2018. We're still talking about a centre-half, people. You see how mad it is? Let's go and look at the next season because I don't even, you know, I can't even remember who actually signs people. I can't even lie. You know, you've then brought in three centre halves. Now, fair play. Gabriel's been in, Martin Marie's been injured, but he's played all right. Similar to Sokratis, you get what you pay for with David Luiz. He goes through some good moments. For me, he's playing very well, but there'll be moments where he lets you down. Saliba's a young G, but again, generally, there's four centre halves in the last two windows at the time I've shown you, and it's still not any confirmation. And again, we all know certain men haven't worked out here. Shout out to Tierney, shout out to Martinelli. Some men have just not worked out. The less said, the better. So you get what you pay for, people. You firmly get what you pay for. Like it's as simple as that. Last season, who did we even bring in? I just don't even know at this moment. I can't remember. You get, to be a fair, decent window. Only when you consider these two, really. Now, these lot were all on loan and them things, they don't really count. Cedric, you did your thing in your game. But again, 29 years of age, you should be locking down that fullback role. I've seen you play poorly for Arsenal. I've seen you play well. Let's be real. We don't know what we're getting from Cedric. Hopefully, we can see something in that regards. If we're real with ourselves, people. We've got too many players that are on a moments thing. You know, all three fullbacks are moments players. You know, Maitland-Niles goes through good bits of form, then he's out of the team for whatever reason. Bellerin goes through moments, but then in the last couple of games, he's been playing very well. Suarez played very well in his last game, deserves to keep his spot, but let's be real. we've also seen him play poorly. I'm seeing 3 men fighting for one spot. I wanted to see someone defeat the other 2. If not, for all I care, all of them can go, and we bring in a right back who we don't have. I want to see on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, sorry, what I'm seeing on the left. I'm not talking about left back. If Tierney's fit, I'm not talking about left back. He's doing his job. It's as simple as that, you know. It's a bit like when we had Sagna. You don't need to talk about right back. He's doing his job. I actually remember back in the days, Partey could play right back, so it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal start flirting with that. Runnison, same age as me, looks like a year 7, behaves like a year 7, just not good enough. Less said on William, the better. You get what you pay for. Bare hot and cold, man. Bare hot and cold player. Shout out to Mkhitaryan because he found a good little job for himself out there in Italy. He's doing his thing at Roma. Moving away from that, though, people, Eriksen and Arsenal is back again. Torreira's name's being thrown in. I'm tired of hearing about Torreira. I don't think this is going to happen. It'd be good for us. We might get a creative player. I wouldn't take him on a permanent. Obviously, it makes sense, you know. Playing for Conte is amazing. A club like Inter Milan, back to Italy, it all makes sense. It's all shout out to Jonathan Spencer. He's probably being very creative with this. As you lot know, Inter Milan are looking to move man on. Their guy has come out and said, their president has said, we're trying to move Donny on. He struggled at Atletico Madrid. He struggled towards the end of his time at Arsenal. He's got to ask himself some questions. Before I ask about Simeone and Emre and all these and Arteta, Torreira, what are you doing? That's 3 managers. You're not really been 30 under all of them. What's going on? It's gone on to, I'm not even going to entertain this. It said we've been linked with Eriksen. Again, it's more of the same. It's mentioned Torreira's linked with Valencia. We know Eriksen struggled, but it's not saying anything of concrete evidence in relation to Arsenal. You know, fundamentally, this isn't a thing. Negotiations haven't begun between Arsenal or Inter Milan about it, people. However, they're looking to send him out to a Premier League team, provided they pay his wages in full. Again, we've just got Sokratis and Ozil off the wage books. Why are we going to waste more wages? If Eriksen came in here, fine, but and every signing is obviously a risk, people. But come on now, it's not serious, people. It's absolutely not serious. What's this? Please don't be a long read, because if it's an emotional Ozil piece, I'm going to speak about that. I'm going to read it first. Oh, Ozil was not seriously on Arsenal's radar when George Mendes, I can't say that word, but the agent called their then transfer negotiator Dick Law and suggested Real Madrid needed cash to fund the purchase of Gareth Bale. As you don't know, they were on selling Di Maria, Benzema, and Ancelotti wanted to get rid of my man. We'd already tried to get Higuain and Luis. It didn't bang. Apparently, Law said we were shocked. I've heard this story before, people, really and truly. We've heard this. We already know that Wenger tried to get Ozil as a teenager. He kept in contact. And when it became clear he's leaving Madrid, Ozil got into it. We already know this, people. He said, what did he say? I'm just trying to skip to the relevant parts. I don't want to bore you lot. He said, over those final 4 or 5 days, the pieces just began to fall into place. Anytime you do a deal of that magnitude, you're excited. There's a lot of tension involved, but we knew he was going to make us better, and he did. Facts. Ended our trophy jars. Shame I ended up, man. Obviously, Ozil did not want to step down. You know, of course, it's going to be, didn't want to leave. Of course, it's going to be a step down. Shout out to Mertesacker and Podolski for helping him settle. For the miss Ozil, man. We've got Ozil. This is just bare jargon. Like, just show me the actual freedom. Apparently, there is certainly a scarcity of information about why Mikel Arteta cut him so cleanly from his plans this year. Most theories trace back to the 350k a week contract he signed after considerable waggling at the start of 2018. Wenger had been desperate for Ozil to sign, although the size of the deal eventually offered did not sit well with the manager either at the time or since. And we all know Arsene Wenger said, don't give him that deal. Yeah, he looked dejected, man. That was a L for us. He said most of the time now we think that when we sign a player for 5 years, we have a good player for 5 years. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they play their best, because they might be in their comfort zone. Gonna leave you lot to draw up your own conclusions on that word there. But I think that tells you everything in relation to Mesut Ozil, don't you lot think, people? As great as it is. Apparently, Arsene knew how to deal with Mesut as a player and as a man, because Wenger will stroke your ego. Wenger is, you know, he's that favorite teacher. He's that. I do it right now. I'm probably the favorite with my niece because I don't shout at my niece. My nephew, you know, be hard body, but my niece, there, it's all right. This and that. That's what Wenger's good at. But when you have, I don't think Wenger was a bad manager for him, but I think he could have been a bit more like Jose. Because for me, Jose had the best sort of way for Ozil. You know, he knew that he's a great player, can pick passes away, but you play him for 60 minutes, you take him off. Games where it's not a that thing for Ozil, you don't utilize him. I think that was the problem with Ozil. We looked at Ozil Ozil has to ask questions, but we looked at Ozil to be, you know, the man that's going to fly into tackles and raise up the thing. He's not that. It's the same way we looked at Theo Walcott to eventually try to take over from Henry. We looked at Giroud, who Giroud isn't a bad player, but over a 38-game period, Giroud is not going to be your striker. We put players in a position where they can't handle it, where the shirt is too big for them. And Ozil was misunderstood, but and there's a lot of things I think Ozil has been scapegoated and innocent for. Like, people say he wasn't work rate. Look at the metrics. The man did run around. His body language is very languid. You know, it's very much an English thing, running around for the sake of it. You look at Martial, you look at Ozil, you only start exerting yourself when there's a need. That being said, Ozil didn't develop in my eyes anyways. Last 3 or so years, he didn't develop. He didn't change the way he wanted to play. Didn't apply himself in that fashion consistently. Didn't push himself to be better. Was happy to play within himself, really. And that's why I don't think you can just blame Ozil, just blame the club. It's a cocktail of reasons. Either way, it's a disappointment. He also said they were on the same wavelength. He was given room to breathe as well and play, not many restrictions. And I think Ozil needs that. You can tie him down to certain things, but with players like that, you've got to go and let them have the freedom to go and express themselves. Arteta understood that. You know, something's got to have changed because Arteta understood that. Arteta was using him. Arteta was saying, oh, there's always a place for a player with disability. Then something's changed, whether it's the wages, whether it's the China business, whether it's he feels he's not doing the business in a game or training. Personally, I think it's a thing. He didn't take the wage cut, and Arteta saw that as cool. You're not one of my doggies, so you're out of this thing now. You're a former teammate of mine. You're not doing this thing for me. I can't rely on you. You're out of this thing. Simple as that. Trying to move forward, he said, yeah, Ozil, you know, Emre weren't here for this. You know, he got an assist against West Ham for Lacazette. He done what he needed to do. Apparently he was dissolute. So, and then, you know, Ozil has antagonized the club with the Gunnosaurus thing and many things. And Ozil is undoubtedly, understandably, you know, because I think Arsenal behaved distastefully when it came to the China business as well. You know, they stand up for other things, but they got onto him. We all know he refused to take a wage cut. You know, and he doesn't have a wage cut. I wouldn't take a wage cut personally. You know, we got a billionaire owner. Why am I taking a wage cut? You know, make no sense. Come on now. So it's not said anything really that we don't know. It's just a lot of hot tosh, if I'm personally honest with you. It's just a whole lot of hot air. There's nothing of any meaning. You know, I don't like to click on these. This looks a bit clickbaity to me, people, with the headline. You know, Arsenal coaches against Mikel Arteta's latest plan as more players on the transfer list. Let's see, people. Let's actually see what is being said. If there's anything, you know, coaches at Arsenal are against the idea of the manager cutting all ties with Lucas Torreira. Let's see. Arsenal are considering cutting the midfielder's loan deal to allow him to secure a move to another team. According to Sky Sports, many of coaches are still friendly with Torreira and are against the idea of him being sold, despite the fact he's out of favour under Mikel Arteta. And Mikel Arteta was a midfielder. There's got to be something he's not showing. Personally, I think he's a good backup option to Partey. He's a good option you could play with Partey, you know, if we need to be ball winners, similar to what you've seen with El Nene. But again, I think it's a mentality thing with him. Apologies, people. I tried to actually find the article. We'll click on that after and see if it confirms anything. But again, this is just hot tosh. None of this confirms anything. We know Valencia are keen on him. I'm not going to go into what Edu has apparently said about him already. He said we want to know about him, how he feels, and later, of course, what Atletico feels. For us, Lucas and his happiness is what's more important. If everyone is happy, he'll continue like this. If Lucas is not well, we'll look for a change because there are many teams that are calling me to ask about the player's situation. So if you can make a little flip on him, why not? You know, why not? I would have liked him and Guendouzi to stay, really. Dead that, man. This is just I thought this was going to another article. So there is nothing really in regards to that, people, of any sorts. What are you guys saying? Please make sure you're hitting the like button. I appreciate the 300 odd of you that have been in here. I appreciate you lot for your constant support, people. What are you lot saying? Arsenal is a nice place for players, lots of money and no real expectations. Bring in Grealish, would love that, but myth. I'll a myth. What you lot are saying to look at Fabrizio Romano? Let's see. Ed, you know, what is he saying here? Sokratis, sorry, leaves Arsenal. Contract cancelled. Free to decide his next club. Key move for Arsenal. The mission was to sell slash loan out Ozil, Sokratis, Saliba, Kolasinac. Now it's time to sign the new midfielder. Buendia is one of the options. No official bid yet. To be clear about Buendia, Arsenal appreciate the player and they had contact with his agent weeks ago, but no official talks with Norwich. Still quiet. Arsenal have many options as quality midfielder and will decide in the coming days. Papu Gomez, while he is a good player, apparently is not on the list, people. So make of that what you will. So we spoke about Sokratis. We spoke about hell of these things, people. We've actually spoken about some neutral topics, people. You've talked your way into disliking Torreira in 5 minutes. To be fair, if you watch me consistently, it's not that I don't dislike. It's I love Torreira. Bro, who was gassing up Torreira the most? I was livid when he went. I wanted Torreira and Guendouzi to stay. I still want them to be here. But when I remove my love for the player and look at the situation, you know, there's got to be a reason. You know, I thought Emre was moving mad. He was a defensive mid. He's making you a cam. I can get it. But you've had him now, second year. Something's got to have changed. You had Arteta, used you initially, rubbed you out. Simeone, I thought, yo, he's going to go there. And he's going to remind the footballing world how good he is. He's going to enhance his reputation. Right now, halfway point, you ain't done that. We're arguably in a position where we might even get less for Torreira than if we sold him permanently in the summer. And why did we loan him to Atletico? Is it because we genuinely wanted to loan him? Is it because of the COVID restrictions in place and the knock-on effect it had for people's money? Or was there no offers? Do you get it? Because to be fair, I'm seeing Inter Milan links now, Torino, Florentino. With all due respect, they're good size, but they're hardly the top teams in Italy. You know, I rate Torreira highly. There's no I previously said it. I think he was a guy like Martinelli and that. And I still believe in Martinelli and that and Gabriel. They're only gonna be here for 2 years, 3 years, and then the big boys are gonna come for them. I thought that was Torreira, you know. So Torreira's got to ask himself. It's not even a case of talking my way out of Torreira. I just don't like the yatty thing. I don't like this. I don't like to say soft because it's not the right word, but you're just moving soft. Like you just pull your pants up, man, and fix up. Why ain't it happening for you in Spain? You know, where's the excuses now? It's Simeone might be moving mad, but it's crazy, man. People getting thrown out the chat for defending Ozil. Hey, whether you get onto Ozil or defend Ozil, please. We're allowed to thingy, man. You're allowed to have your own opinions, man. Ahmad just said, what did I miss? Bro, you're going to have to scroll back, man. We've been speaking about some neutral topics. We've been speaking about Arsenal. We've been here for an hour and 45 minutes. It's a madness. It's not a size thing because look at Mata. Look at David Silva. Look at Dennis Wise. Roy Keane is hardly the biggest, and he's known as one of the bosses. It's a mentality thing. You know, it's nothing to do with his size. He's just moving mess, man. I'm not too sure about being behind there on Nene, but fair play. That's a bit mad still. To be fair, Chambers did play at Fulham there. It could be an option, but nah, it's a myth. And like you said, he must be new because I always back Torreira. Torreira's my guy, but I can't just gas it up for that sort of thing. Torreira is my guy. AFC Kane, I hope you're doing well and safe. I see you in the thing. Well, I would love Ndombele, another player I wanted, but he plays for the scum now, so it's a myth. What else are you guys saying, people? What else are you saying? It'd be lovely to see him get the number 5, or is that going to be held for a new player? You know, you've got number 10, you've got number 5, you might have number 9 in the summer, free. You've got, you got number who's number 11? Arsenal number 11. Who's number 11? Funny enough, who's the number 11? It was Torreira. Ironically, it's funny how things work, isn't it? Bare squad shirts free, man. Bare squad shirts free. Man said, bring back Ozil. Myth. Absolute myth. I want Guendouzi to come back and play. I think he's gone and he's getting sold, man. It's as simple as that. He's gone. What else are you guys saying? Hope not. Hope Leno don't make a mistake, but he does have a error in him, but he's doing his thing, man. I think what I like about Leno is he's finally getting the clean sheets he's deserved, because there was times where we would lose 3-4-0 and we're saying Leno man of the match. Equally, sometimes he makes mistakes, but 9 times out of 10, he's doing his job, man. And I've got more belief in him than a lot of other men, if that makes sense to you, really, for all my criticisms of his. I'm not gonna lie to you, lot people. I would explore using Partey and Guendouzi, but it would be an option. It wouldn't be my first choice option. I would like a certified 8.5 to come. 8.5 Partey, and if it has to be Smith-Rowe, it has to be Smith-Rowe. But equally, you can rotate people out, and Guendouzi's there. He'd be a key part to my plans moving forward. But it is what it is. Damon has said, big up from Sydney, Deluded. Love your content. Do you genuinely think Smith-Rowe has what it takes to be our creative midfield? Hope you're doing well in the UK. I hope you're doing well. I think he can. Whether he's going to be a sort of flag bearer, someone we look at in 10 years time and we see you still representing Arsenal and these things, he needs to have a long way. He needs to decide his thing, he needs to. But I think he can be utilised in the squad. I don't think the creative burden should be on one player, Look at Man City. They're a great team, and for obvious reasons, we're not them. But they're not it's not Kevin De Bruyne by himself. He's got other players. If Kevin De Bruyne is having an off day, there's a Gundogan, there's a Bernardo Silva who needs to pull up his pants and do a bit better. There's David Silva previously who was there. There's other man. We always, not saying you, but us as Arsenal fans, we do this thing and it jars me where like how he's linked with Buendia, Aouar, Szoboszlai. We think these men are gonna come in and be the Messiah. We think we thought Ozil was going to change our futures. We think one centre half like Gabriel and previously Saliba is going to improve us defensively. We think Leno is going to be the answer to all the problems. We think a striker is going to be the answer to all our problems when it's all a collective. Unless you're Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, we shouldn't be looking at one man to pull a club forward. It's dangerous. And I'm always I'm not pessimistic, but for me, I judge a team on how good they are at their worst, When we lose key players, like with a Partey, like Gabriel not being involved, God forbid if Tierney misses out, Saka, how good are we? And we know right now we need to find a certified 11, but the depth purposes then become a thing. That's what we need to do. Please make sure you're slapping the like button, people. We've been here for almost 2 hours, people. Come on, support the thing. Should Arsenal splash on Kimmich if we could, but dream chasing. Telemans, that's about 50 million. Dream chasing. Do you think Buendia would offer more than Smith-Rowe? Yeah, because what happens when Smith-Rowe isn't at it or Buendia isn't at it? We need other men. They can play with each other. Buendia could learn to play behind him. Smith-Rowe long-term is going to be able to play that 8.5 in a pivot as well as the other roles. Buendia can play on the flanks. One could start, one could not. We need a squad, please, my guy. Please don't spam. I've answered your question. Please don't spam, my guy. You said it 3 times. Please don't do that. You're going to mess up the chat for other people. Can Xhaka and Partey work? To be fair, it worked in the last game. It is what it is in that regard. So maybe Verratti's better than Telemans, but Telemans is certified. I think Aouar would bang here, but he's not going to be the Messiah. And neither is Brandt, Hossam Aouar, and all of these guys, man. He said Matisse is vexed. Big up Rants, big up Matisse. Don't worry, people. Make sure you're in the live stream on Rants' channel. We'll be there tomorrow, man. Got some corn for Matisse still. Matisse, if you're watching, big up yourself, though, man. Make sure you check out his channel as well. He's a Chelsea guy, but he's all right. He's all right. To be fair with you, you're allowed to not rate him. To be fair with you, 1 goal and 33 in the Prem. He wasn't playing for the most expanses of teams, and I wouldn't agree it's easy in the Championship, Tristan, but you're allowed that, but your opinion provides some balance. To be fair with you, I don't mind Xhaka and Partey, but, if I'm not 100% convinced in Xhaka and Partey, it didn't work against Spurs. It worked yesterday, El Nene and Partey, I'm not convinced long-term. There's been times it's worked. I'm not, Partey is the guy, but I'm not going to lie. There isn't a certain partner, Xhaka does all right. Ceballos does all right. El Nene does all right. Joe Willock does all right. If you're honest with yourself, none of them right now, they give you the full conviction to say 38 games. You're my guy. I know what you meant, Lewis. I know what you meant, my guy. I know what you meant. Hey, bro, very underrated midfielder, South London's finest. Coop Miners, I can't say his name, but I know the Dutch lad. Very underrated. Would not mind that at all. You're right. It's a dream. Wouldn't mind Goretzka, but them ones there, you got to do it before it goes to Bayern Munich, man. It's crazy, man. We're not going to get any of them really. We're never going to get any of them sort of ballers there, man, if that makes sense. Them madman there. And the thing is with Xhaka, I don't think Xhaka is a bad player. He just does silly stuff and he's not consistent enough. Man are saying, what about Shabitza? I know he's been mentioned, bro. The last live stream yesterday, that's the guy. I think we should get him. I think he's adaptable, can play a couple of roles. He'd give us something, man. And it's a thing, them signings there, they're not name brand. They're not, unless you're actually watching Shabitza, you're not going to get excited with that. Do you get it? It's not a star sort of signing, but that's a sign I'm all for, man. would I sell Pepe for 50 million? You'll be lucky to even get 10, 20. But yeah, based on what I'm seeing, people, really and truly. And shout out to Kamara, he used to play for us and he's doing his thing. This is what you want to see. Go and do your thing. I wouldn't personally go back for Kamara, but I think he'll get a Premier League move and Finland should love him. Is he not a Finland international? I could be wrong. Bro, Jari Vestashin is decent. He's had some injuries. He could still come to the club for me personally. Tini gets injured. I still want to stay at 4 at the back. I don't mind playing a 3, but it seems that with our players, they at least know when it's 4 at the back, we got to go forward a bit more. Where it looks we're a bit unsure of ourselves, sort of thing. And Arsenal, I think we're a bit weird. Like we're playing 4 at the back now. If we switch back to a back 5, you'll see problems in the same way. Where we did it before, because these players aren't able to do both ways, if that makes sense, or keep that in their minds. People, you have 40 million now. Who are you looking at? I'm going to Leon and saying, yo, allow me, man. Our thing, summer. Let me do this, man. I'll run you 10 million later or something. I'll give you someone on loan, man. I think Pepe does. I'm never going to doubt him. I do think he has some talent. I definitely feel he can make more of a meal of things, but I've given up on Donny, innit? Like I've given up. You can only prove me wrong. It's not that I think you're a bad player. It's just I don't feel, if your name is not Kieran Tierney, Martinelli, Gabriel, Thomas Partey, and the usual suspects in terms of playing well, you're not worth my energy. Like, I'll hail up these players if they play well, but I'm personally done speaking about, I love Lacazette. But I'm done speaking about Lacazette. I'm done speaking about Aubameyang. I'm done speaking about Pepe, Maitland-Niles. These are players. It's killing me to say that to you lot, people. Even when Ozil was here, it's just I'm putting my faith in players that show me something week in, week out, not these hot and cold moments sort of thing. Like I love Holding. I love Pepe. I love Maitland-Niles. They'd be part of my squad, but I can't rely on them. You give me good, and it's disrespectful to Holding because he's doing his thing, but it's crazy, man. It's actually mad. Josh has said, what kind of run do you think we'll have to go on to finish in the top 4? Bro, have you seen our games? Bro, just win them games, fam. Like, we probably need to, bro, if we can go 10 games unbeaten and pick up some points, we could talk, people, because unbeaten to the end of the season, and that one there is a myth. Like, if we just look at our fixtures very quickly, people, it's a mad thing. Like, it's like, I don't know what to tell you, my guy. I don't know what to tell you, my bro. Josh, just look for yourself. Obviously, we've got the FA Cup, but then you've got to play Southampton. You've got United, who were top of the table and are in form. Bro, then you've got a midweek trip, Wolves away. You know what happened when we played Wolves at the Emirates. You've got Villa away. We know what happened when we played Villa at the Emirates. Arsenal versus Leeds, a good point on one hand, 2 points dropped on the other. February, Manchester City, and we're playing City at the wrong time now. Leicester away after that, Burnley away after that. Let's smack up Burnley, but got to add it in. Spurs, North London derby, West Ham away. April got, it's a mad thing. Look, I'm gonna stop. I'm just showing you. Look. Let's go back. The players should be cerebral enough to say, all right, cool. We're going into a tough period. We got points against Newcastle. Southampton's going to be a big test. We've got them twice. We need to win 2 games, because then after that, not that you can look past Southampton because they're in the top 5 at this moment, well, top 10, sorry. You've got United. What sort of points tally are they getting? Realistically, the way both teams are playing, 2 points wouldn't be the worst of things. 2 points aren't going to help us, but a point against United and a point against Southampton wouldn't be the worst of things. But in terms of getting top 4, you need to get 4 to 6 points. Can you get that? And then, and you got to remember, these games are coming thick and fast. We're going to lose it. There's going to be injuries. We've lost a lot of fitness and all of those sort of things. Can you beat Southampton? Can you do a double over United? Because the way United are kind of playing now to when we played them at Old Trafford, it's 2 different teams. Can you get a result? Can you play Wolves? Then you've got Villa. Then you've got then you've got Leeds. So from January to March, you've got to be looking at it in a cerebral thing. You've got Leeds. These are all high demanding games, people. Leicester, look, bro, this is from January to March at this moment in time. I'm going to stop at March. Look, we end March at West Ham away. David Moyes, we spoke about him earlier. David Moyes is doing his thing. These are tough games. Then April, where I always say from January to March, and then April to May, it's a straight furlong, people. It's the last length, the last lap. From April to the end of the season, bro, it's peak. And obviously, I hope we're still in the Europa League. So that we've also got, remember, we've got Benfica sandwiched in between the Manchester City game. But we've also got the Europa League if we advance. From April to the end of the season, what? Liverpool, Sheffield United, who probably Sheffield and Fulham be fighting relegation, so you might see an uptick in performance. But you've got Liverpool, Sheffield away, Fulham at home, going to be definitely a tougher game than when we played them at their place. Everton, you know what happens the last time we bucked Everton at Goodison Park this season. Newcastle away. Hopefully we can beat Newcastle 3 times this season, but you never know what's going to happen. They might be in a relegation battle. We also buck another relegated side or potential relegated side in Sam Allardyce. So we've got three relegation contenders at this moment in time. May might say something different. These are going to be tough games. You've got Newcastle, you've got West Brom, you've got Chelsea at Old Trafford. Old Trafford at Stamford Bridge. You've got Palace away. I'm shook of Selhurst Park, and then you end the league at Brighton. These are all tough games. So the only ones that can make sure you get top 4 of these players, they've got to have the bottle. We will drop points. Other teams are going to drop points and keep dropping points as they are, but so will we. We need to put a run together. And I know we've put a little run together, but if you look at it without emotion, beating Chelsea, fantastic. All the games are fantastic, but beating Chelsea is certified. Take nothing away from beating Brighton, West Brom, and Newcastle. Would people not say, as they're good results, and definitely West Brom away and Brighton away for us, but would people not say a team that's expected to get top 4, business as usual, surely? A team that wants to get top 4, business as usual. So you've played 4 or 5 games. The only tough team in theory has been Chelsea, and Chelsea were, can you even say that? So the only ones that will decide that, my guy, is us. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Oh, I hope United's an easy result. I can't wait to give people grief, but we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll have to see what happens, man. We'll have to see. I like the RB, but I wouldn't swap him for Pepe. I'd rather just buy him. OB has said, listening to you has made me deluded as well, because I now feel with Partey in the team, we won't lose another game. I don't know where you got that from me. Yeah, that's all on your own, McCall. Don't try to throw me under a bus with you. I just clearly just spoke about how it can get long for us. I love Partey, but I don't know what you're listening to, my guy. MP has said, sup DG, rotation suggestions for the FA Cup fixture. Well, technically, Cedric is a rotation. We're going to probably have to review that game. We'll think about that game tomorrow / Friday. You put me on the spot, my guy. But to me, I'm trying to play a tough team, man. I'm trying to play a tough team. We're defending this cup, so I don't want to rest Tierney. Cedric played his way into the side, and it's his former team, so I'm sure there's going to be that extra bit between his teeth. Centre halves, I'll bring in Gabriel at a push. But Holden and Louise have played quite well, as has Marie, but Marie's missing for a few weeks. Apologies. Midfield, you could go El Nene for Xhaka, but again, I wouldn't have any complaints if it's El Nene, Xhaka, and Smith-Rowe, as I think it should be. You could make a case of Pepe in. I would look to go Pepe in, Saka on the left, or Martinelli on the left. But again, can you really play any game this season without Martinelli on that football field? I mean, Saka on that football field, and I'm sure Martinelli, for me, would go on the left. But then what do you do with Aubameyang? Do you play him through the middle? That means Lacazette drops out. So there could be some rotation. Obviously, Pepe, Gabriel could sneak places in. Maybe, something happens with Tierney. Maybe Maitland-Niles is given another opportunity. But I would personally name, and it's a big risk, 2 strong teams, man. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. We'll speak about that on tomorrow. That's a very good question, and one I can't really answer. I've already checked Romano's tweet if you lot are talking about the same thing. If not, we're going to have to catch that one again, man. Else, saying? But I don't even think them games are easy. I don't think them games are easy there as well. Newcastle is probably the easiest, but these lot will probably still be fighting relegation. And we're going to be playing them at a point in the season where you typically see a few shockers when people are playing out of their skin because they're fighting relegation. Grinning Goals has said, underestimate Manchester United at your peril. I haven't said anything about Man United. I've said they're all tough games, so fair play. Whatever. Southampton aren't going to ramp. I hope we catch them on a bad day. I really hope we catch them on a bad day, but we'll have to see, man. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. We've patterned it, people. 365 watching, 345 likes. I appreciate all of you lot, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. We've been here for a minute still, people. We've covered everything, people. I tried to not make this an Arsenal thing, but we had to touch on Arsenal. Nonetheless, I appreciate you guys, people. It's almost 2 o'clock here in the UK. Let's get some other questions in before I keep it moving, people. What else have we got? Arteta should rotate players versus Southampton on the 23rd because we want to win the Premier League game. True, it might make sense, but what happens if we rotate and lose, and then you lose the next one? it's a difficult one, man. It's a difficult one, and he will need to rotate. He will need to rotate. So I do think you might even see Cedric play the next game and Bellerin come back on Tuesday, or Bellerin might get the FA Cup one and then whatnot. But you've got to play the occasion, man. I don't want to rotate for the rotate's sake. And the problem is, Carl, we're in a bit of form now. You're very dangerous about making wholesale changes. We did that in the last FA Cup game, and on top of us just not being at it, lo and behold, it took us to extra time. So Smith-Rowe, you could say, needs to be given a rest. Do I think would I feel comfortable, as much as I believe everything, man, the man was saying in the chat, would I feel comfortable saying Saka, Smith-Rowe, even David Luiz, Holding, Tierney, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Partey, definitely. Do I feel comfortable saying that, let's take him out? I don't, maybe if you go with Partey and you bring in El Nene, you go with Pepe instead of Saka. I don't necessarily agree with it, but these changes, there shouldn't be too much of a drop-off. I do think, though, he should name, if we can, name the strongest lineup in both of them, but that's going to be a big ask. Realistically, physically, it's going to take a lot out of us. We're not going to have that long in terms of a recovery. Saying that, we play on a Saturday. What? They'll play on a Saturday, a recovery session on Sunday, training on Monday. Saying that, I think you might get away with it, unless people are in what Arsene Wenger described as the red zone now already, then we should be able to get a little result. We should be able to, really and truly, man. Dial Square One has said, wish MA would give Maitland-Niles a couple games next to Partey. He's got the skills and athleticism to do it. I know he's had one rough game last game, but maybe he's not on being the fill-in, man. Well, if you're not on being the fill-in, man, just go and move out the club, really and truly. I wouldn't mind him giving a role in midfield. We know he can play there, but I'm of the thinking now. I've personally stopped dreaming about Maitland-Niles midfield. It's a fullback thing or nothing, at least at this club, or what I've come to potentially accept personally, people. Why is the questions frozen? Here it is. A man said, yo, bro, are you fishing today? Never seen you with a hat. My subscribers, I might go fishing. Who knows? Yeah, I just want to wear a hat, man. I need a haircut, bro. And I just thought, let me wear a hat. I had the hat on. I went shop. Thought, yo, I love wearing hats, but you just don't see it. Allow me, man. Saturday and Tuesday isn't a good break. No, it's not. But did we not play on Thursday and Monday the other day? And to be fair with you, that it's not like it's 2 games in 2 days. You got to remember, they're going to have a recovery session the next day. They're going to train on Monday and then they're out on Tuesday. It's crazy. I hear you, my guy, but just for the fact of we're defending this, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Of course, I look all right with a hat. How do you mean? I'm a lovely darling, mate. Man, I saying fishing. Don't make me fish for your girl. You always draw me out. Man said 2 hours. Thanks, DG. I appreciate that. I don't think Arteta gets enough credit for our improvement defensively, 5 clean sheets and things like that. But I need to see a bit more of a prolonged period, if that makes sense. I would love Nelson to play, but I don't think, admittedly, if Nelson's fit, he makes the bench for me. There's Martinelli there. There's Pepe there. I wouldn't play Willian ahead of him, but he seems to be fitter than he is at this moment in time. So, me, I'd love Reece Nelson to play, but I have to see, man. It is what it is, man. Pepe needs to start in the cup. He can't improve without game time. That's very true. It is very true. He does. But again, I understand if certain men don't start. I understand it because when they're given opportunities, they haven't done it. They haven't done it, man. To be fair with you, I wasn't a Cedric hater or a fan of Cedric. I just call it as I see it. I'm not on it. If you play well, you play well. I do think fans are going to do this thing where they forgot Cedric has played badly and he's played good in his last game. But you've got to show me some consistency. We've got many players that are hot and cold in this side. Sometimes Maitland-Niles is the best thing since sliced bread. Then he goes off it. Rob Holding could be described as that. David Luiz could be described as that. El Nene and Xhaka could be described as that. Lacazette could be described as that. And there's bare other men in and around the squad that I haven't named that have gone through patches of form. We don't really know their true level. It's crazy. I love Deluded. Gooner, I appreciate you, Randy. Big up yourself, man. I really appreciate that, man. Man, they said, I want to loan another striker because Eddie doesn't do it for me as a bench option. I want to bring in another striker. I think Arteta, if all the question marks we had over our squad weren't there, I think he'd look for a striker. I don't think he's convinced on any of these strikers convincingly abilities over a 38-game stage to be the number one. I think some games he says, you know what, Aubameyang through the middle 9 times out of 10 on the left. Sometimes I've got to go with Laka. Occasionally we've got to go with Eddie. So who knows, man? Marie's had a good couple games. He's had a good couple games. I like Marie, but it's the same thing, you know. I've seen Marie play 3 or 4 times. I need to see you play for a consistent period. You know, the Europa League ain't really a test. Anytime he stepped in the Premier League, he's done his thing. You know, depending on how that Chelsea game went, we might be looking at that penalty a bit different. I like Marie, but again, I need to see a bit more. I can't just come here and fanboy you. I do hope that, you know, if you give Cedric more game time, he'll do the same. But I don't see man locking down chances, people. You know, MP has said stakes are too high to smooth Pepe into form. That guys with the earpiece should book Pepe more sessions. You're talking about the earpod, Danny. And that's a bit hard. That's a bit harsh, Ricardo. It's a bit harsh, but fair play. You're allowed your opinion. Balogun needs a proper chance. I would love to see Balogun play, but I've accepted he's leaving and accepted the chances ain't happening, man. Yeah, on a loan, he can be a. All I want to see, my guy, is people confirm things. That's all I want to see. I like Marie. I think the only concern I have is his lack of pace, and that's it. And I think you can get away with it. You know, I think I like Marie. Marie, Gabriel, and Saliba would have been my guys for this season because they're almost 3 players that are irrelevant from the failings of us defensively, if that makes sense. But we'll have to see, man. We got Graham. AirPod Don cracks me up just one. Bro, so I knew it was peak when I saw him with the wired one. That's when I knew we weren't getting a job. We weren't doing our job. Graham has said, hey, DG, things looking up, I suppose. I'll take the positives. I'll take the positives, but I'll also look at it with balance. When we're down, I was telling you, look, no matter how bad we are, and I was really bad. You see it on my face. I said, don't get yourself too down. Now we're winning. Let's not get too excited. Let's apply balance, and we need to just keep doing more. I appreciate all my JA tugs in here as well. Dre, I love that you're here, man. I love that you're here. Paddy has said, hey, DG, in your opinions, what should the expectations be for the rest of the season? A difficult one, but, you know, I don't think we're going to get top 4, but we owe it to ourselves the right to just claw some points back and finish as respectable as we can. You know, can we kind of try and force our way into top 4 plans? That's what the boys should believe, even though I don't think it can happen. Try and get into the top 4, top 6. More realistic for me, try and retain the FA Cup, try and advance into the further stages of the Europa League. Apart from that, don't know, man. I don't know. All right, moderators, take it to VAR. It always discourages you from coming back. Moderators, if your moderators are banning you for doing the wrong things, then you can't complain. But you know, if he's spamming, get rid of Dunny. But if not, you know, Em is saying you're spamming, you're saying you didn't. Someone take that to VAR. Don't bag people for the wrong reasons, people. Like pop them out for being rude and the rest of it. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, what else have we got here? 2 hours and 10 minutes. This is what you call dedication to this thing, innit? Jeez. AFC Kane said, I rate how you're very straight up about the young players. Not everyone will make it here, but they don't have to, so they can make some. It's that bold. Thank you for your praise, but my guy. But it's reality, bro. Nobody more than me will be happier to see 11 players, you know, from the academy playing first team. I would love that, but it's naive. What I have an issue is can we progress players to reach the first team? You know, some are gonna be ballers and just not make it here. So can we make a change on them? You know, can we make some money? And that's the thing. We're not. We claim we're self-financing, and it's not great, and it's not good enough, man. It's not good enough. I don't. Man said VAR man was trolling. Fair play. Mods don't ban people for no reason. To be fair, stylish, you got rid of George for saying Ozil isn't good or something like that. Is crazy, man. You see, look, man are saying, yeah, don't. If they're doing it once, don't ban man for that. Ban man for trolling people. See, yeah, if you're spamming, so you were spamming, you know, I believe my Northwest Killy, I believe in me. Like Ahmad said, you know, I got the real moderator tugs in here. Them two are not going to do it for no reason, my guy. So just review what you're doing. Let's sort it out and move on. You get it? Let's just move on, man. People isn't a bad word. Don't, like I'm seeing with Dermot. Dermot saying, fam, don't get rid of man for saying people. Come on. Some are moving mad. Mazzolina said, Eddie should have gone this window. Only a season left on his contract. He's staying for depth purposes, man. He's staying for depth purposes. To be fair, my guy, you can say it's OTT. You know, we're trying to have a good platform here where everyone can have their say and stuff. So if you're spamming, it is going to make that tougher. It's crazy. It's absolute crazy. What's my FPL saying? Can actually go and check that right now, to be honest with you. Well, in fact, no, I'm not saying anything seriously. Like that's it. I'm not winning that league, so it's a myth, man. It's an absolute myth. Power probably did get to some mods' heads, man. Probably did. Jay has said, do you think the Arsenal squad is better balanced now? It's difficult to say, really, because my opinions haven't really changed, regardless of players coming into fitness. It's a crazy thing. So I'd say that, man. Man are saying they demand an internal investigation. Stylish, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Don't get rid of man. Man are getting at me for things, people. Don't get rid of man for different opinions, man. Bro. I moderators, you lot sort that out, man. I'm just gonna stick to the football, man. Man said cancel culture. Last question. Reese said, do you think Lacazette will be sold in the summer or give him a new contract? I personally think we'll let him walk for free. I don't think we're gonna give him a new contract, and I don't think we're gonna sell him. I think he's gonna leave for free, which he shouldn't do, but I think they're gonna let him run down his deal personally. Pardon me, if he continues this form, then by all means, there's a logical reason to have a debate about him getting a new deal. Granted, he should get a new deal, but at the same time, man will turn around and say, look how William was playing at Chelsea. He got the deal he was after at Arsenal. He's moving mad. Ozil was playing out of his skin in the build up to that injury, and now he's gone. You know, before the contract, and now he's moving mad. You know, Aubameyang, you know, it's a bit different. Hopefully he's got back to goal scoring ways now, but Aubameyang was moving a bit booky in terms of signing that new deal. So it depends. And if I'm honest with you, and it's with a heavy heart that I would probably still, regardless, unless he gave me 20 league goals, which is the first time he did, I probably still wouldn't give Aubameyang and Lacazette a new deal. He's great for the young players. He's great in the squad, but I don't know, because even if he scored 20 league goals in the Prem, you know, I'd look at it and say, yeah, that's what I wanted to see since you've come here, but is that a one-off? So I feel Lacazette is gone. I think it's very telling that him and Eddie and Nketiah, I think one will stay if one goes, but I think, you know, that it's done, really. You know, I see you when you're here, you keep the peace, man. It seems like there's beef between moderators and viewers, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You lot bless up the beef, man. But I've been here for 2 hours and 15 minutes, man. You know, like you said, Zach, it's not entirely criminal. You know, people are saying Lacazette can bounce, but I've been here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I can't lie, I'm going to keep it moving. I might come back later. Please don't hold me to that. But if not, you've got a 2 hour and 15-minute live stream to get your teeth into. I'll be clipping up a couple of bits and pieces and whatnot for those that have missed it, and relevant bits. But for now, it's been a pleasure. Please make sure you hit the like button. I'm going to get out of here, people. Man said, let's go 3 hours. I'd love it. But my guy, I got to eat. I need to use the toilet. I can't even cap. Number one, before you make your jokes. Yeah, man, I actually want to go and do some other stuff in terms of improving Deluded off the camera. So, yeah, man, I need to do that, man. Bro, Ahmad, you are a moderator. Do you know what might have to happen? All moderators might lose their passes, you know, and I'll start again. If moderators don't fix up, everybody's gone. Everyone's gone. You know. Certain man are gonna, you know, stop moving mad. Don't let power get to your head, man. But nonetheless, big up the people, like Dermot has said. Don't get rid of Dermot either. I see you sticking it on you. Be a bit calmer, man. Be a bit calmer, bro. Anyone, I'm mad. If there's ever a way of saying who got rid of you, let me know, because they'll lose their thingy, man. Reese, I'm not gonna lie to you. The moderators are just for the people them that are 9 times out of 10 here, and I see their usernames a lot. I don't just give out the moderators. You might be here a lot, but I don't see your username enough. So you know that's why you see the Ahmads, the stylish youths, the MBs, the C Robins, the Omars. You know, these sort of guys, because they're always here. And if I've missed out your name, Marcus Gotti's normally patrolling the strip. You know, this is why, because I always see these usernames and they've been supporting the thing. So I know there's no malice. You know, I can't just give it all willy-nilly, because some man would just do a madness with it. So yeah, man, the more you keep coming back, soon land, my guys, soon land. Big up all the people, them. Big up all the moderators as well. Big up all the Twitch gang. You know, please make sure you hit the like button. I'm gonna get out of here, people, man. I'm gonna get out of it, and I'm gonna leave you lot with this message from Ahmad. Hit the like button, people. Apologies, T. You know that it's been done. Leave T alone, man. He's been given a DG pardon, like I've seen Donald Trump do for Kodak Black. You know, you see this username, he's been given a DG pardon. I will block him if I feel he's moving mad. You know, and you're right, Ahmad. You missed one live stream and it's moving mad. It's moving mad. Don't worry, Stylish. You're staying here. I'm believing in you, but you're moving like Guendouzi after Brighton right now. Man are getting onto you. Man are snitching on you in particular all the time in my Instagram comments. But it's all love, man. Please make sure you hit the like button. I'm out, people. DG.